Yo, yo, yo. Happy Sunday. What's the word, chat? What is the word? Happy Sunday, everybody. Got us a pretty decent day to make some money for sure. We got it's only 3 NBA games, but we got a full slate of football. So yes, sir. Well, ma'am, what's up, honey? Big Noti gang shit. I know I can count on you to always pop out. Um, yeah, we got it's 3 NBA games. But of course, it's a full NFL slate, so we're gonna definitely get through these games. Make sure you got your notes out and all that. What's good? What's up with it, North? We back always, so we're gonna try to make these quicker, find our value, look at these odds. We're gonna look at this full NFL slate. So make sure you picking up on stuff that you like, which I prefer to do anyway. It's the reason behind the madness as far as like always trying to help y'all help yourselves because you see what I see. So it's less pressure on myself giving you the play if you see the gems that you like as we going through them and you make those plays yourself. Like I said, you see what's up with it, dude? You see what I see. So you know what you like. I don't have to tell you to be like, take this for you to be like, I like that according to what we looking at in the stats. So make sure y'all taking notes on that. Again, all VODs is always posted on YouTube after. If you want to go back in, if you feel like you missed something, you want to slow it down, play pause, by all means, you can. So let's start with this. What was this? Pistons Brooklyn. What we got? A 3-point spread. You can see right here. So they basically saying it's kind of like a balanced game, 3 points away from each other as far as like scoring talent. It should be a close game where you feel like if you find some gems, you're gonna get your minutes out of these players. So like, let's see, Cade Cunningham. Again, we just looking for bright red like this, where we can find our gems, get in, get out. So who is this? Brooklyn defense versus starting small forwards. They giving up 16 points, 17 points basically to small forwards. Tim Hardaway averaging 12. What's his line? Line 10.5. Love it. Your average and their average is higher than the line. So for sure I like that. But you know what we here for. You can get Tim Hardaway points at plus 240. My apologies, y'all, if I sound raspy. I am so exhausted. Y'all have no idea. But the show must go on. The com need me, and I'm here. What was we at? Oh, right here. So 15 points. Where'd it go? It's plus 240 on FanDuel and Fanatics. You can get that. That's a little two-piece play. You can make that and put that with something else. You got a 10-1 plus 1,000. You got they give a 5 rebounds on 8 chances. You can look, the 3 is his line, which I probably wouldn't look too deep into his rebounds because I don't like these low rebound chances he getting. So you're not even really putting yourself in position to get boards, which makes sense of why these numbers look like that as far as how many you actually grab. So keep that in mind. So I'm not gonna look too deep in the rebounds. Yeah, they give it up, but I'm not liking. It ain't even about his rebounds. It's the chances. You're not putting yourself in positions enough for me to be like 4. Hebrew, what up? So keep that in mind as well. So I do like his points. You can go as far as up to 15 with Tim Hardaway. They're giving up 17 to small forwards. He hit that two times in the last 3 games, which is something helpful to know. If you want trends to make it make sense for you, I don't see nothing here. Here we go. Here we got Jalen Duran. They defense give up 17 points to centers. That's because they don't know who the hell they center want to be. Nick Claxton always on injury management or he in foul trouble, so makes sense. Line 10.5. They'll give you 15 at plus 340 on Fanatics, 330 on DraftKings, and 300 on FanDuel to take him for what? What is this? Taking this alt line up to 15 points. This would be like a demon on prize picks. They're giving up 17. So We move. I don't think it's gonna be much in these 3 games anyway, but that's the great thing about still making sure you go through and find if there's any gems. You got to go search through every hole. Like, who was this? Finney Smith. His line only 8.5, which they got heavily favored it, which makes sense seeing that he averaged more. They give up 16. We work with football. It's the same exact way. You'll see, literally, the same way. That's how I'm looking at it. Like, it's the same thing where I'm looking at these bright green spots trying to find those weaknesses. Would you take into consideration the field goal attempts for him compared to what they give up? Yes. Yeah. I personally, I always do. So, like, seeing that, who was it? That's funny you asked that because I do that. Like, so for instance, here, seeing that like this year he averages 3.8, so 4. So you can like come over here and do field goal attempts. You can do that. You definitely can go deeper. And if you got that research guide that's pinned, I show you all of that. As far as like if you want to do that as far as threes or whatever. So you can do like what's the lowest he done shot outside? So like you can do like more than 2. No, you can do like this. This is what I do. I go between, right? I'll look at the lowest amount he done shot, which this one he was in foul trouble. So I'm not going to use this 11 minutes. So I'll say the lowest amount he done shot in the game this year is 2. The highest he shot is 7. So just show me people on this side that y'all have defended with like lower field goal attempts. So yeah, you can definitely do that. And this year, look how it dropped. So yeah, that's something that you could definitely go deeper into. Like I said, their full research guide shows that. I go, that's a 3-hour video because we go way more in depth. That's when I was first showing people how to use the platform, period. So hell yeah, if you take a person for threes, or you want to know like if you want the threes to make more sense, you can do the same thing here. You can do more than, less than. I like to do between because I can look at your lowest amount of 3-point attempts for the season, put it here, the highest, put it here. So you kind of like narrow it down to people that play or shoot similar to that person. Hell yeah, you can do that. And it's smart to do it. Going more in depth, you can never, the deeper you dive, like only make the read more appealing to you if it makes sense. Are you scared to take he be hacking? That yeah, right. But then you see with his attempts added, by him not shooting a lot, it changed everything. That just went to bright red from bright green. So definitely keep that in mind. Top of the mind, top of the morning, my boy. So yeah, that makes sense to do that. Hell yeah, that's something that you could utilize these filters, minutes, or I don't really have to do minutes because the thing about doing, they have a whole separate section for bench players. So you know that all of these is averaging 25 to 40 somewhere in there. So the average is gonna match up here. But like field goal attempts, you can even do like they just added this since I made that video 2 days ago. They didn't have the filter for potential assists. So if you see like a person give up a whole lot of assists and you willing to take his odds, you can literally do the potential assists. And again, I would do between and I would look over here and see what the lowest amount he done had, like let's say for him 5. And the most potentials he ever had in the game this year is 11. And do it that way, and then see if it still end up being bright green after you put that filter on there to somebody with the potential like a Cam Thomas. So yeah, them filters definitely work. They make a lot of reads make more sense once you find them. See, like this right here. So for instance, I'll show you. I'll give y'all an example. So right here, this already gonna catch your attention because it's bright green, right? For 16 points. This gonna catch your attention out the gate. So what you can do is just to see if it make even more sense, do field goal attempts between what's the lowest Finney done shot this year? 8. The most he done shot in the game is 11. See, now you see how it's not bright green no more. But what it did do is it still stayed above his 8.5. So his 8.5 still looked good. It already looked good because he averaged more than 8.5. They was giving up what, 17? But even when I filter down to a person who shoot the amount of times like he shoot in that range, they're still above it. So the 8.5 line still look good, which the books love too, as far as like favorited. Pinnacle even got it. The sharpest book got it at minus 122. So it makes sense. Even the person who shoot them the average amount of times as Dorian, they're still giving up 10 points total. Rebounds. You can go to rebound chances if you want. Appreciate that follow. Appreciate the follows, y'all. I don't got the headset on, so I can't really hear it. Sometimes it'll just catch my attention in the cut. What's the word? Yeah, so yeah, definitely, yeah. Don't be afraid to use these filters. They only gonna make something you like. You gonna either love it or you not. But it can make a read way more sharper by you taking those extra steps. But the first thing that still need to catch your attention, no matter what, is finding these spots where as you scrolling, it's just bright green to stick out. Then you can go deeper into it. I'll do it for let's see, 13. Which you probably not gonna find none because that's an odd number. So you're gonna have to go up to 15. And y'all know me personally, I'm not, even when I'm taking your alt or ladder, I'm not gonna go above what the average is allowed. I'm gonna push the limit all the way up to that number, but I'm not gonna go over it. I bet Hawk is gonna be green. So I didn't see anything on this side. Like, yeah, like I said, I'm not expecting much. When I seen the matchups, the 3 matchups today, this game might be good. Not even really, no, because Ben Carroll hurt. But these games ain't giving like they really own shit for real. Oh, we are here. We damn. So we back to Calderon. Now Calderon gonna be tricky as far as trying to navigate his minutes because you got to think since McCullum got hurt, I'm kind of like not even paying attention to these top 4 games. Maybe the 29th, but pay attention to the minute difference. When he was a bench player, he only getting these amount of shots, but then these last 2 games when he playing 30 plus minutes as a starter, everything changed. So I can't filter it. Now I'm still taking into account this stuff, but I'm just saying as far as filtering the defense to his minutes, because this average should be higher than that now, seeing that he's gonna be in the 30-minute range. But they're still giving up 26 points to him. So you can go look at his 11 and a half. Let's see, 15. They'll give you plus 225 on Fanatics at plus two for what? 15 points. If you want to take it there, you can go up to 20. Plus 600, plus 750 on Fanatics, plus 600 on FanDuel. Seeing that they give up 26 points. They're giving up 4 threes. See, I mean, you didn't have 4 threes 2 games ago. They'll give you 3 threes at plus 175. They'll give you the 4 threes at plus 400 on FanDuel. A football day? Yeah, for sure. For sure. It's like they knew to put the ass games today for NBA so that it don't intervene with the other sport. They rather not even risk they numbers going down, which it already is for the year. Rebounds. They're giving up 6 rebounds. He's been look, his rebound chances is going up as he's playing 30 minutes a game. His line is 4, which is super juiced. It's minus 154. They'll give you his 6 rebounds at plus 270 on FanDuel, seeing that he done got 6 last game, and his last 2 games since a starter, he getting 8 chances minimum at rebounds. So that's a good thing to remember. His last 2 games when he playing 35 minutes, 32 minutes, he got 8 and 13. 6 they'll give you at plus 270, and they're giving up 6 rebounds a game to point guards. Remember, if you like those, you gotta love the combos. Period. You gotta love the combos. And it's the reason, look, they're still bright red. So if you rather go the combo route to play it safer, points and assists. They won't give you an alt line, but the 17 and a half, they're giving up 32. Points and rebounds. No alt line there. And PRA. They're not giving no alt lines. Maybe it's still early, but still, just his line alone, 21 and a half PRA, 15 and a half points and rebounds, 17 and a half points and assists. These look very appealing, like the average, his actual line. Just seeing that they give up way more to point guards than his actual line is. And like I said, you really can't, his averages gonna be off because of these first 4 games of the season when he was limited. Everything is just dark red when he was coming off the bench playing 13 minutes a game. Everything changed though. His whole game changed when he got double the time on the court. So you can't really take his side, but with a grain of salt. But you still can see that the Hawks, which is another one, like always hunt the Hawks, like points and rebounds against Trae Young. Most of them gonna go out there and feast every time. No, we ain't skip it. We ain't skip it. What's up, Cash? Yeah, so pay attention to that. And you'll start noticing that the more you be on Doink and the more y'all start hunting defenses, you'll start remembering seeing it day in and day out, you'll start just remembering which teams give up what. Like I already know Milwaukee Bucks, you usually could take their point guard because of lack of defense from Lillard. You can usually take points and rebounds against Trae Young. You could take rebounds against Anthony Davis. Like certain stuff you're gonna just start picking up and it's gonna just be stuck in your head. Like, oh, I've seen that already. I know what they're gonna give up. I just need to see who actually playing against them and what lines, what odds you'll give me and see if I can find some value in it. But you'll start knowing the defensive liability of these games. Is we probably done seen what 2 or 3 people so far, and we done went through 2 games. Shit, bless. No complaints on this side. I'm 3 legs in already. Ain't nothing wrong with it. Ooh, Anthony Black. This a good one right here, just on the strength like they giving up a whole lot. But then you also got to do this. Now we can do it with Anthony Black because his minutes is kind of like his averages is the same. So you can go between the lowest he done played was 20. The most minutes he done played is 31. Right? So there's 1 game. Now you could do instead of doing the minutes, you can do field goal attempts. You can go, let's see what people around these shooting, like 5 here, the lowest, and the most he done shot in the game is 9. None this season, but let's see, we'll go back last 5. So it kind of bring that number down. Now we going into the last season, but that's cool because strictly we want to see the production with these type of field goal attempts. A person who not shooting over 10 times, how do they score? Got to use those filters. Definitely got to use those filters. Rebounds is a different story. They giving up 6. His line is 3. 4 plus 155. The 6 that they're allowing is plus 700 on Fanatics, 600 on FanDuel. So you be on NFL too. Yeah, I mean, I'm gonna go through there. It's only 3 NBA games, so yeah, I'm gonna go through that for y'all. It's the same thing, but you'll see. So it's some value, y'all, in Anthony Black rebounds ladder. He even getting the rebound chances. He got the 6 there. He should have had 6 there. Like he's getting them. He's averaging 6 rebound chances a game. So it's some value, especially getting it at 6 is like 600, like a ladder. It's some value in Anthony Black's rebounds. And again, like, look at this. It's dark green, everything on every combo. They might not give us the nope. So nobody gonna have an all line? Nope. But his lines, again, look at this. All the combos. If you afraid to take the points or the rebounds, go points, rebounds, or any of these. But look, these 4 combos, points and assists, points, rebounds, rebound assists, and points, rebound, and assists is all damn near double. This one almost triple what they're allowing, like far as a full combo. Keep that in mind. Like the full combo is is way higher. So Anthony Black is a good spot you can like dig a little deeper in. We looking for Bright. 14. Who's this? Yeah, he might not even play. Like he didn't start last game. 11 and 8 and 7. His line 5.5. You're not gonna probably get a 6.5, is you? No, you're gonna have to go 8. I ain't gonna take that. 10. What they give me for 10? You can get plus money on Gafford 10. They give up 11. He's gotten that 2 games ago. But that's crazy. It don't really seem like it's really it's some lines. And remember, like, since this slate was so quick, if you're looking into a person lines, what I be looking at is when the average. Now we look at the bright green when we looking at ladders. We trying to find your value and go over it. But when I'm looking at just like actual lines that'll like make me consider it, is when basically like when I'm seeing your average and the defense average is over your actual line. So when I see double greens, that's when I'll start digging deeper into your actual line. When I'm looking at at gems, I'm only looking at this side for bright green, where I can look at the odds if that person over exceed his average numbers and take advantage of the defensive weakness that he's going against. So that's when I start looking at this. But if you want to look at like people's lines, like Jalen Suggs rebounds, his line 4.5, but he's averaging 6 on 10 rebound chances. They giving up the 5 that his line is on 7 rebound chances. Like it's green on both sides, so that's when I could be like, okay, let me look a little deeper. Maybe filter by rebound chances. Let me see. You can go between. Let's see. The lowest he done had is 3. The highest he done had is 14. They still giving up the 5 assists, to players who have rebound chances on average around the numbers that Jalen Suggs do. So keep that in mind when you playing numbers. I mean, they're lines. Because if I'm not mistaken, maybe a four leg of their actual line, like the number that the book put out, 4 of those is a plus 1,000. So it's not like you can't take their line. If the line makes sense, the line makes sense. If you're looking at those gems and those alt lines for like ladder pieces or like 2-3 leg plus 1,000s, plus 2,000s, that's when you start looking for bright green. When you're looking at these advantages you can get where it's a weakness in the defense, and you just hoping that that day that player takes advantage of the weakness and keep up with the average that they already allowing. So yeah, so that's all right. Monday, yeah. So it's only these 3 games. It don't look like it's not many gems, like just by the naked eye. You can always go deeper in, filter them. But just from our naked eye, just from looking at defensive weaknesses, it's not really looking like as much in them 3 games. And I mean, if you really look at the team matchups, it's like. But the funny thing about them is they have them all with close spreads. This is probably the biggest one, 7, 4. So they got them like they're going to be closer games. So that's when you would try to dig a little deeper, because it could be potentially something in there. Like I say, even if it's their lines, you're not going to all. That's the good thing about them. It's not there. You're not supposed to just see gems like everywhere. You gotta. That's why you have to do your part and hunt for them and find them, because they may be few and far in between. But they there. Got to look at Lively. He gets more minutes at center. But the defense. See, the thing is, I'm not even thinking about. Hold on. For the defense, I'm looking at first. Right? Is this the game? No, this one. So I'm looking at this defense first. Where you at? Oh, down here. So they giving up 11 and 8. 11 and 8, right? 8.5, 5.5, 11 and 8. So if I go here, if they have his lines up, let's see if they got his lines up yet. Is that Lively? Okay, right here. So his line is 8.5, 7.5, and they gave it what was it, like 11 and 8. 11 and 8. So it's still like by the defensive not having like a super bright green weakness on their team, I'm still, no matter whether it be Gafford or Lively, I'm still only interested in really your actual line today, if I'm willing to take it. Because nothing here, bright green, showing me to even look into like going over your line. Their defense is not really like, they're not showing a super difference, like a weakness in what they're allowing to centers anyway. But yeah, Lively, I think he actually averaged more. It was like, no, it might have been 9 too. He averaged like one more rebound. That's what it was. So they both still fall in line with this average. Now, again, in them situations, you will have to decipher which one you want to go with. Because it's days like Gafford gonna go out there and not do shit. And then it's days that he won't. So what we looking at here? Oh, we on football, y'all. So let's get to this football slate. Appreciate the follow. Let's get to this football slate. All right, let me make sure that these damn columns, what's all on here? It could take off long. If they let me. Longest rush, I don't need to see this. Save some space on here. All right. I think, okay, now everything I need is on here. So y'all, for the ones who was asking, if you notice, it's literally the same thing. The same setup. It's the same exact setup. That's why I like doing it, because it's more red and green. It'll stand out to me as soon as I see it. For instance, like rushing attempts. Like they giving up 32 rushing attempts. Atlanta defense to quarterbacks. Now, this is one that would be, not, I ain't gonna say tricky, but you definitely want to do a filter. Seeing that he only run 1 or 2 times, I'm gonna do rush attempts. What's the most he done got was 2. So less than three running attempts. They ain't even play nobody who don't run a lot this year. So let's just say last 5. Everything just changed. This went from bright green to just regular now, which is still over the average of his 6.5. But just on average, a person who won't run, he only running. So that's why you have to use these, because it's showing that, look, 3 attempts, whoever this was. Who was this? Baker. 4 attempts for Geno. Andy Dalton 3, Baker 6, Derek Carr 3. They all run. They all take more rushing attempts at quarterback than Dak do. He haven't tried to run over 3 times in no game this season. So that's why this number wouldn't matter or wouldn't really hold weight in his situation. So you would have to do for him, since it's so far off, you're going to have to do like I'm doing, like less than, since he never got 3. You're going to have to do that so you can see the difference in a person who only running 1 or 2 times. Those numbers, the average is totally flipped from there. For the ones who was asking about these like filters, hell yeah, in them type of situations. So you move, so boom, caught my attention. Rico. So they giving up, what was it, 71 yards to 71 yards rushing to running back ones, the starting running back. If you want, you can do the same thing. You can take his rush attempts. Where is he at? Rush attempts. Damn, he had less than 20. Do I want to? No, I'm gonna do it this way. Between 6 and the most he done had is 13. Now, see, it changes. Like it didn't change. It's not like that super like giving showing you like you can ladder this. It didn't change when you stay within the range of a person with their amount of run attempts, as far as their offensive scheme. So that went from like a potential ladder to it's just basically average. And not really giving you Dalvin Cook stats. And it update. Sometimes you might be too early on it. You just go back, you'll see them. But again, like there's spots where you can look more in deep into people's lines. They're giving up 5 receptions to the wide receiver 2. He's averaging 4. His line is 4. They're giving up 48 yards receiving to the wide receiver 2. He averaging 48. They're giving up 48. He averaged 48. The line only 40 and a half. So don't miss out on money because there some people's lines itself just makes sense. All right, I'll just take you for your 40 and a half yards. Oh, good looking. All right, so okay, yeah. So it didn't change. It did go up to 58. If you want to go take him up to 50 with the filter in there, you can get you can get to 50 at plus 135 on Bally's, plus 116 on FanDuel and DraftKings. So it did do that. My bad. Appreciate you telling me it was on last 5. One of them, it wasn't no games that they had, so I had to do last 5. You looked at the wrong number by accident. What you mean the wrong number? What I filter by 6 to 13 attempts. Oh, okay. Rush attempts. What's the lowest? 5 to 20. Do it that way then. Okay. Now we back talking. All right, bet. Good looking, y'all. Appreciate it. I told y'all, I'm so tired, man. I entered as long as, and you know I wasn't paying that. Take that shit off. There we go. All right, there we go. My bad. So now look, okay, so 71 yards pass rushing to Rico to running back ones. 71. So let's see, 50. His line is 50. Oh, I looked at 50. His line is 44. 50 is plus 116. 60, 194. They're giving up 71. So 70 yards rushing for Rico today is 290. They're giving up 71 yards to the RB1. I just put in a touchdown ticket. Yeah, so up to 70 yards is plus 290 on FanDuel. It's plus 400 on ESPN bets. They're giving up 71 yards rushing to Rico Dowdle position. So there's some value there. You can get up to that. Remember, if I can find like a plus 200 or more in your alt lines without going over the average they allow, that's when I know I'm in a good area where I could be like, okay, I'm willing to take this. If I got to go over the average they allow, then that's when I back up and be like, I'm going to take the line or nothing. But if I can get to that plus 200-300 minimum as I'm going up the alt line without passing the average allowed by the defense, I'll be good. Yeah, Rico up to 70. They're giving up 71. What else we got in here? So look, was that it? Did I miss anything? Look like it's Rico in this game as far as gems. As I'm going past, if you see stuff like, look, receiving yards, he's averaging 22. They give up 19. His line is only 16 yards receiving. These are pieces that you can make that decision yourself. Like, okay, well, that line look good because he averaged more. They allow more. That's a start. You know, if you want to go into receiving attempts, you can. But as far as like just gems, us trying to find these gems in all these games, it looked like it was only that Rico shit. As far as that Dallas defense allowing up 71 yards rushing. What we got here? Broncos, Ravens. Broncos about to get smashed. You think where you at? For what yards receiving? Again, yeah, that just went into what I just said. But I'm not by it being so many games. I'm not looking at their lines. I'm trying to find like those gems for y'all. Like, but yeah, of course, if the average is green on this side and the average they allow, that's when I said you can their line. I like your line. Yeah, I can go a little deeper into it, and I probably will. I will get the filtering to make sure. But me seeing that you average more receiving yards than your line, they give up more receiving yards than your line. 26 and a half look good. That's something that'll catch my attention so I can look a little deeper if I'm looking into your line. For sure. Yeah, that go right into what I was just saying. B John 70. Hold on. Maybe you seeing something I'm not. B John 70 what? B John 70 what? Russian? What you talking about? Oh, for sure. That's what I keep. Yeah. Their lines are parlay pieces for you if you don't play straights. If you don't play straights, that's what I'm telling y'all. Like a person's line around that minus 110, minus 140, minus 150, four of those is a 10 to 1 plus 1,000 for sure. So, yeah, their lines are parlay pieces. 70 rushing. That's something. I mean, look, you see what I'm seeing. He averaged 68. They give up 75. So if you take 70, I don't, for one, if you ain't learned by now with me, I ain't going backwards. I'm tell you that right now. Like, I ain't going backwards. If your line's 71 and a half, it's going to be 71 and a half or I'm laddering up. I ain't going backwards. Yeah, I'm not going that way. Sure. So, but 70, seeing that he averaged 68, they give up 75. I mean, shit. If that's what you, let me see. I don't know if will they show you 70? Yeah, you get 70 at minus 118. It's some value there. All the other books, minus 140, 130. You getting good odds on that for a parlay piece on FanDuel. But yeah, I'm not going backwards. That's for damn sure. Oh, he talking about first time. He giving y'all something about a first down, first half touchdown. All right, here we go. Look, Bo Nix. So, the Ravens is giving up 311 yards passing this season. Now, if you want to make sure that it makes sense, pass attempts. We're gonna go between what's the lowest amount of pass attempts that Bowden had this year? 25. The most attempts he done had this year is 42. All right, boom. Look, we put in the pass attempts like on average. So you basically just gonna show me the players on average who throw the amount of times both though, and they're still over the 218 line. So you can go in here 218. What's 225? 225. You at plus money. You at 102. Now you got like even his line. His line and 225 can be parlay pieces for sure. His line is minus 110. 225 is 102. It's 60 against the 68. 68. It was 68 and a half. So you can get these are parlay pieces or straight pieces. I know a lot don't play them. These is I'm playing straight. In this 100 or right in this minus, these is anybody play with. I just play you straight. If I'm only gonna put together these. Now 250 is plus 200. The best line is on Bet360. I mean on DraftKings. So you get your best line at DraftKings. What is this? 250. you still under that 290 that they are on average, which damn near everybody done hit, but Josh Allen, because he wanted to sit out that bitch and run all day. 275. Now you getting into like plus 390. These is when you getting your like lotto pieces, whether it be 2 of these for a plus 1,000 or 3 of these for a plus 5,000. This where you get into your ladders at. Got to. Better be cooking. Hey, I'm just trying to help. You know what I'm saying? You know how this go. So 275. You still under the 290 average, y'all, and you getting 275 for Bo today at plus 390, the best line on DraftKings. If you only use FanDuel, plus 350. That's something to look into as far as like a gem piece. Can't be afraid to drop them. Y'all already know how I feel about that. You got to drop them. Appreciate that follow. You got to drop them. So you at 275 for Bo, and they giving this to you at plus 390 over here on appreciate the follow over here on DraftKings. So that's something good that you can definitely look more into. Russian. Oh, they ain't giving a Russian. I'm looking at his side. So Bo Nix passing yards with potential to go above it when you like thinking ladder. I think it's line. What is his line? Let's go back to reset. Line only 218.5, y'all. 218.5. And like I said, when you thinking value, you gotta understand you can't be afraid of if the line is plus money or not, because generally the line is gonna be around their average. The lines is usually around what have you done lately. You looking for spots where the defense got a weakness in it and you can push the limit on potentially the player over exceeding what they've done lately, taking advantage of the weakness in the defense. And it always see like, look, his average is 191. They put his line at 218. And that's because they taking into account, they understand that Baltimore have a weaker pass defense. So they even bumped it higher than his line, but it's generally closer. Like, look, he averaged 33 attempts, y'all. 33 attempts. Look at his line. 33 and a half. He averaged 1 touchdown pass. He done got 3 and 2 a couple times. Look, 2. He averaged 7 rush attempts. Line, 6. So the line is always like the average of what have you done lately. That's the whole point of these sessions. It's like to show y'all, look at defensive weaknesses so you can be willing to go above. You thinking about potential. If you're thinking about trying to stay in that bubble of what have you done, you're going to always catch yourself with a lot of legs on a parlay because you confine yourself in this little plus 100 or lower odds because you're trying to play it safer. You got to try to find those spots where you can take advantage. Like, he could potentially play better today because it's a weaker spot in this defense that he can take advantage of. I didn't even. We passed that. I'm not sure. I didn't. I only seen Rico in there, so it couldn't have been appealing to me. Since that's only one game up, I look. But like a lot of these, if you ain't catch them, you have to catch them in them. In these divides that get posted. But 225, they only give up 216. So that's not gonna catch my attention. If you ain't green over here on the defense side, like it's a weakness, I'm not even. I'm gone. Like I tell people, using this method helps me not overwhelm myself in big slates. You know, everybody be like, damn, it's a lot of games, which mean a lot of players. This is how I find spots to where I can narrow a big slate down. I don't second guess nothing. Like I told y'all, no emotion. I don't care who you is, how much I like you. If that shit don't look like the defense have a weakness in that spot, see you next week. And hope that I can find a weak spot against you next week. I literally let this and these green spots tell me what I'm playing that day. Nothing else. I don't care who you is. People ask me all the time. I tell people like, I probably done bet on a Browns player maybe once this year. And I'm from the city, you know what I'm saying? It just don't be no value I'm seeing over here. Like, I'm aiming at straight weaknesses. It'll break down these bigger slates because every defense ain't gonna have weaknesses. So I can just get through them games quicker. I'm hunting for straight weaknesses. What teams is bad in certain areas so I can attack them. That's all I care about. So Dak, they only giving up that like 2 and some change on passing yards. I'm not personally looking or touching it. If that make any sense. Hopefully he plays better today. Yeah, see, that's what I'm trying to avoid, the hopefullys. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, if it's hopefully you play over based on this. Like, look right here. Making sure I ain't passing nothing, doing all that. Boom. Like, look, it'll stand out. I done skipped through 6 people. I'm halfway through the game, and then you be like, boom, okay, I found the spot. So, well, this would make sense of why they allow so many passing yards. They give up 90 yards receiving to the wide receiver one, to the wide receiver one slot. They're giving up 90 yards. His line is only 51 and a half, which is crazy because he just had 100 yards receiving last game. So if his line 51 and a half, this when you start digging into like 60. We had plus money, plus 126 already at 60, and we still 30 yards shorter than the average they allow. Yeah, these sessions be for the people who do player props. It is a section if you are newer, you just follow. It's a section if you go to game overview where you can do research. If you a person who do like money lines and spreads and all that, they tell you against the spreads and all that. So it's a game overview section on every game that you can look into for wins. It's also even here. If you do like team props, over and unders, they got whatever you need in there. I only do player props in these episodes. What was we at? Sutton. So look, they're giving up 90, y'all. Look, his line 51 and a half. So if I'm thinking more than your line, of course I'm thinking your line. For the ones who be like, would you take the 51? Yeah, if I'll take higher than the 51, hell yeah, I'll take the 51. So you're getting plus money at 60. We still 30 yards shorter than what they allow. 70, you at plus 210 on DraftKings. Look, FanDuel and all the rest of the books still trying to make you add all these damn legs with it. They giving it to you at plus 210. And then 80, you're getting plus 310. If you want to push it to the limit of him over exceeding, which is not really over exceeding. I mean, he just had 100. If he in position against those type of defenses, you get it at plus 450 on DraftKings, plus 370 if you want to use FanDuel. What's the word, Drewski? So keep that in mind. Cortland Sutton is in a good spot today to excel, to go over his potential based on what they're allowing to wide receiver ones, even wide receiver twos, whoever this is. His name is Lil Jordan. Is this real or this troll? Dude named Lil Jordan. They're giving up 44 yards. His line only 21. Shit, he didn't hit that damn near 3 times this year. This 44. So they're giving up 44. It don't hurt you to go look and see what's 30. Name it. That's really his name? Man, what? You can get 25 yards receiving a day at plus 122 on FanDuel. That is a good spot. He done hit that 3 times this year. They still giving up 44. So you can even go 40 just to see plus 310. So they'll give you the best line for Humphreys is for 40 yards. You getting it at plus 310 over on DraftKings. That's a spot you can entertain if you're willing to go that far. If you don't want to go as far as 40, even to 25. You getting that plus 115, plus 122 on FanDuel. His line, 20 and a half. Looked like a good spot. He's gotten that even last game he got that. You can go deeper if you want to on these players and like add their targets. So he played at Texas. That's a crazy name. Like even the way it's spelled look crazy. So it's just like wide receivers, period. Troy Franklin. And remember what I told y'all. You see how so far every wide receiver against the wide receiver 1, the 2, the 3, the slot, and all that. You see how they all give up more than they average. If you stuck between which one of the 3 to take, remember always look at which one of them you can get the best odds on with the lower number. Who can I get the most value out of doing the least? So if you stuck between seeing that the wide receiver 1, 2, and 3 all exceed 23 and a half. So let's see Troy Franklin. What's 30? 25, not plus money here. 40, which is the full limit, is plus 265. So just off of what I can remember out of the 3, let me make sure. What is Sutton? It would be 90 to get plus 370. To me, if I had to pick out of the 3, it would be Jordan Humphrey. And that's because out of all 3 of them, he had the best odds doing the least amount. You can do Sutton because of how many targets he getting? He getting 3, Sutton getting 7. So it's going to be between Sutton and him, but it's more value in Humphrey because you getting better odds for him to get less yards, if that makes sense. You're going to need more yards. You got to get to 90 yards for Sutton to get the amount of value that you got for 40 at Humphreys. So when you're trying to decipher between multiple players, if you don't want to just take their lines and you're trying to figure out which one you want to pick to over exceed, try to see which one you can get the best odds on, doing the least amount to get it. Sutton get a lot of chances to do it right. And that's what I said. That could play a part in it if you like the targets. He gonna get the targets. But his targets, like, see, it's crazy because like his targets was lower. Like he got 8 here. It's like when he get the targets, he go crazy. And they allowing 7 targets to the wide receiver 2, 9 targets to the wide receiver 1. So based on just the average of their defense, for whatever reason, they're allowing kind of like the wide receiver 2, it seemed like, to step up and play damn near the same as the wide receiver 1. It's like they're getting even touches. They're allowing even touches from both. It seemed like the wide receiver 2s all over exceed against the Denver Broncos. Against the Baltimore Ravens defense. So it's more value. You got more chances, which seem like on average is only like 1 or 2 more chances to get to 90, but you getting more value in less yards with Humphrey. If y'all like money lines, y'all be reading the chat. They giving y'all money line spots. So keep that in mind. It's like they're giving up but all 3 of their lines look appealing because this defensive is having clearly, look, damn. This tight end getting his rocks off. This might be the one even over the damn wide receivers. Hold on. They're giving up 70 yards, 67 yards receiving to tight ends. He just had 85 last game. What the fuck? No alt lines? Hey, I would keep a very, very close eye on this guy. Y'all keep a very, very, very close eye if they try to slip in his alt lines right before game time. I'm telling you that now. I would take his max up. If his line 10.5, they might not even give you more than 50 or 60. I would take his ladder all the way to the ceiling. As long as it's under this. Like literally, like he just had 85 yards last day is letting tight ends do anything. But the books are, I am tripping. All right, there we go. Hey, y'all, peep this. Look, this is something else that should catch your attention. I just went to best lines, and his line is 14.5 on ESPN bets. Right? Hold on. Wasn't that line just 10.5? Y'all see that? Like the other books got this 5 points more. So you might definitely want to entertain this 10.5, if nothing else, on FanDuel. Like why they 5 points less than everybody else? It happens, but you really never see that. So look, ESPN bets got 25, which I would definitely take if I had that, if I was allowed to lay money down on that book, but I'm so limited on there, it don't even make sense. I would take this plus 325 for 25 yards receiving from him. They give up 67. He just had 85 last game alone. But this 10.5, y'all, this is something that you should definitely pay attention to when you line shop. Why is FanDuel way off? Like, it's one thing to be way off in odds, but why are y'all 5 yards lower than the other books? That don't make sense. And even then, whatever this is, like sleeper, it's like a favorite prop. I don't know. I got to look deeper into that. But I'm definitely, keep your eyes on Adams alt lines for sure. And that 10.5 on FanDuel for sure. Seeing that all the other books saying 15 and you still way under this. And the thing is, see, look, this is why you really can't pay attention to the averages, because it's gonna be these games where he wasn't getting touches. So I don't know what happened, but his touches is going up. He's getting more into this offense. I don't know if Bo Nix realized what he got. I don't know, but his touches is going up these last couple weeks. So definitely keep that in mind. We move. See, and it's like, it be stuff like this what you got to stay away from. It's like, people be like, okay, Lamar Jackson. Like, names for a lot of people be mean and shit. especially ones who gamble but don't really watch the sport. They only really know star names or star players. They more so be like, it's no way that he can't do that, but you still have to, like, these numbers ain't here for no reason. Like, they're giving you all the stats. If you care about individual games or the average of, like, in a nutshell, so far 8 weeks in, what have you done? Or what's something that, to me, these averages only tell me something that's consistent. Everybody have a game where you might have had a bad game or a good game. That average is just giving me consistent numbers of, on average, this is like what you allow. You know what I'm saying? So as far as lines, it's one thing for these two props. What is this? Attempts and completions. Because they give up more than his average, he gets more than his average. But as far as like alt lines, when I'm thinking like lotto plays or ladder plays for people who play ladders, it's nothing that's bright green, which tells you they don't have a consistent weakness somewhere. They don't have these are consistent weaknesses. Not even without me looking at every game individually seeing bright green, if it's consistent, it's gonna be bright green here. That's what I'm caring about. It's consistent weaknesses. I don't care you gave up that game, but then you ain't gave it up no other games. You just had a bad game, which everybody do. They human. These teams gonna have bad games or a super good game. When the average is bright green, they're consistently weak in that area every week in and week out. So you can look at Derrick Henry, receiving yards. They're giving up 12 receiving yards a game. Motherfucker average 8 yards. The line 3.5. That is a smash spot. He's averaging way over the line. He's averaging double the line. They giving up 3 times the line. So even just the -115 as a straight or a parlay piece, I'm not even thinking twice about this. Your average alone is double your line. And then they give up 3 times your line. So just his 115 alone is a smash spot at this 115 on DraftKings. You can get 10 at ESPN bets. You can't really. You can go up to 15. I wouldn't, because again, like, just a pet peeve of mine, just to keep me in body. I'm not, even when I want to ladder you, I'm not gonna go over the actual average. That don't mean they won't get it, but I'm not going that far up. Is this who I think it is? So Derrick Henry receiving yards today is a smash spot for sure. 3.5, like, the books is on bullshit. That's a smash spot for sure. Long, I don't even be seeing that prop. So move this, because you throwing me off. Where the hell is that longest reception? The only way you get those, if you got what the hell is that? Bet365. I know Bet365 give you long alternates. Nobody else. And for y'all who like newer to doink, you get their red zone attempts you get their rushing attempts, their red zone rushing attempts. You get their targets, you get their red zone targets, their average air yards, the average yards the ball is flying in whatever route they running. So that kind of can tell you, like, when you see like negatives or stuff like that, they short routes. If you see a person with like a higher air yards, they usually doing deeper routes. So you can keep that in mind. And I think they even give you, you get this rush and receiving. You do get that. Let me see what his is. Oh, see, they don't give up the rushing, so it's gonna make the average go down. Got it. All right, so are we back over here? So we got 25 yards rushing. They're giving up. His line is 10.5. Now the thing is, since he the RB2, you're gonna have to rush attempts. You're gonna have to like zone in on his rush attempts. Oh, it's just 1. The most attempts is 5, and then still see if it makes sense, which it don't. As far as the ladder, they still gave up that 11, but I also don't really focus on nothing when I only got one prop. I don't got enough information to get a good average on it. Just one game ain't gonna sell me on your line. So that changed instantly when you filtered it down to like a person with his rush attempts. What's up, bro? Pies, Mr. Free Throw and Game. Missed me. Great read, though, for sure. Oh, yeah, it happens, bro. Yeah, that one, that's crazy. It happens, though. So yeah, so that just changed everything about this Justice Hill. But so far, this Derrick Henry rushing yards, just his 3.5 line is, I mean, receiving yards. Here we go again. Deontay Johnson. So Broncos defense to the wide receiver 2, they're allowing um 45 yards receiving. Again, if you want to do it, you can. You can go to targets. You can filter it down to like bring it into the people of a 1 to the most he's had in the game is 8. The average steal state. You see what I'm saying? So you can add the filter. If they give up higher without the filter, and then you filter it down to a person, I'm looking at them. Why do I keep doing that? That's not his target. That's his receptions. Between my bad. What's the lowest? 3 and the most. Oh shit. 3 targets and the most targets he done had this season is 14. Okay, even it went up even more. It went up even more. You gonna see? Jonathan only playing like 10. They say so. I would definitely wait till next week. Oh yeah, no, I'm just seeing the spot. So I didn't even know that he not playing. Do it say something? Nope, it don't even. It ain't even update and say it'll be like an injury thing. So he not playing today. That's tough. But look though, you still can take that into account. I don't know who it would be, but if it's a person, if they'll give you his line, still keep in mind seeing this, who the wide receiver 2 is. Because whoever that wide receiver 2 is, especially if they're a person who actually will get some snaps or whatever and some targets, this gonna still apply to them. That's the best thing about it. This applying to a position and not a player. So that is good to know. So you would have to hold off on that. But still, I would keep very close attention. I would pay attention to who is the wide receiver, like who is coming behind Zay today that's gonna be filling in for him. It might be some value in that person's line, seeing that they're giving up 51 yards receiving to that position. So whoever that slot, that QB, that cornerback 2 is, he's still the same defender. Bateman. So Bateman gonna go up to 2. Okay, so even with Bateman then. So if that's the case, until they update it, let's say for instance Bateman is the person, right? If Bateman gonna go up to 2, I'm not gonna look at this because this is against wide receiver 3. I'm gonna take into account these same numbers for Bateman. So if knowing that they're giving up 51 yards receiving, we're gonna go to Bateman and see if it's value in him going over, which so far, I'm under longest reception. I'm under receiving yards. Okay. Justice Hill receiving. Justice Hill gonna be the receiver? What are with the blocks? So 36 yards receiving for Bateman. If he go to that 2 spot, if he's going up to that 2 spot, you're getting plus money for 36 yards. You're getting plus 170 for 40, and for 41 plus 180. If you want to look at the full 50, you're getting that plus 290. And like clearly, he had a bad game last game, but if you pay attention to this, appreciate the 2 months, Roy. If you're looking at it from here, you can see that that 50 yards is not. He just had a bad game last game, but that's only if Bateman is moving up to this 2 spot. Because if he don't and he stay at the 3, I'm not sold that that cornerback 3 can hold his own. He ain't really watching that shit at all. He ain't watching that shit. So keep that in mind. Like, that's only if Bateman slide up to the 2 spot and then they pull up somebody else to play the 3. If Bateman stay at the 3, I'm not really gonna look too deep into it because it's not looking like it's nothing that I need from there, like that I'm seeing from there. Because I'm seeing somebody say like Justice. All right, so what was it that we liked out of here just going up? It's Bateman. Let's put it like this: the wide receiver 2 spot. We like his receiving yards and Derrick Henry rush yards. Was it somebody up here? Oh, and this dude. So you got Troutman. I would look into. They not giving us his lines. Only over here on ESPN Bet. So I would definitely lock in on Troutman, Derrick Henry receiving, and Bateman receiving. So it was all receiving. Bateman receiving, Troutman receiving, and the wide receiver 2. That's all I'm gonna just leave it at that. Whoever that may be, that target or invest in looking more into those receiving yards if they'll give it to you. Yeah. Reception yards. Yeah, yep. It's Troutman, Derrick Henry, and Rashad Bateman, all three receiving yards. It's where it's some gems at in that game. What the fuck? Y'all see that? I need to refresh the page. What the fuck? So yeah, it's those three, and it was some wasn't it? And Bo, and it was Bo, right? Yards. Let me make sure. Appreciate that follow. Attempts. 25 to 42. Yeah. Okay, that was it too. Though. I'm glad that it did that weird shit. Bo Nix. What is happening right here? And it's only the one game. Let me find out they don't want us to look at the Browns though. Okay, damn. I'm like, what is happening? All right, so first out the gate, Justin Herbert, Bo Nix pass. Got it. Yep. They don't want you in that game. Yeah, that's crazy. I'm glad you're taking your notes. That's what it's all about. Like we signal, we seeing it together. Take your notes, see your spots that you like that make sense off what you're looking at. So out the gate, we looking at bright green. So we see that the Browns is giving up 24 yards rushing. That's because them quarterbacks be running for their fucking life for Myles Garrett. Receiving yards. Look more into his receiving yards if he go to the wide receiver 2 slot today. Yep. So out the gate, we seeing 25 yards that they'll allow. His line is 10. Again, you're not hurting yourself coming in here, just seeing where your value's at. So even 20 yards rushing for Justin Herbert is plus 325 on ESPN bets. They giving up 25. You still under the average. And he's gotten that, even just last game, he's gotten that. I wonder why nobody gonna give you the alt lines on these. See, look. Hold on, 25. Oh, yeah, see, 25 is plus 370. That's pushing it. Just seeing that that's going over the average. It don't mean that you can't get it. But you can find value, like y'all saying. You can find value in people alt lines without going over the average. And if you can find those, I always tell y'all, look for great, not good. That's a good read, but it's got to be better ones. So, was that it up there? Yeah. Bright. Okay, look. Receiving yards. What? This is another situation, y'all, like Derrick Henry. Like he averaged way over the line in receiving yards. They give up way over the line. But again, receiving. What's this? Receiving targets. What's this? Receiving yards? Yeah, receiving targets. Between he went 0. So the highest was 2. Let's just do less than for this. Less than 3 targets. Still higher, y'all. So this seemed like another spot. This Kamani dude, he in the same situation with this 3.5 line as Derrick Henry, where they're averaging way over both sides. The defense allowed and the offense is averaging way over the 3.5 line that they got. So he's in another spot. Like, oh, you can take his odds. 5 is plus money on FanDuel for 10 yards plus 160. 15 plus 250. I don't know why FanDuel and them won't give you his line, but that's another spot. If you have an ESPN bet, it's like, wait, hold on. He averaging double the line. They're giving up double the 3.5 line. You might want to look more into those. You might want to look more into that. We got another. Bro, am I tripping? What is this? Receiving long. You might can't take that off. Longest. I keep seeing this long and it's throwing me off. Receiving yards. So that just changed. I'm thinking this long was the yards. Like it's green, but it ain't bright green. It ain't a super weakness. It's not something that they allow every week in, week out. Week in, week out. Here you go right here. You got 29 yards receiving for Hayden Hurst. Line 14. He averages more than the 14. They give up double his 14 line. So the 14 line, for sure. His line at 13.5, that's something you can look more into. You can see targets again when it comes to receiving. You're not hurting yourself by like only showing yourself people around his range. Less than 5 targets. He ain't ever got 5 targets, so 4 or less. Oh, less than 5 targets. Still, look, they're still giving up 24 yards receiving. His line is only 13 and a half. Was it a cone slap? You know what I'm saying? So who is this? Hayden Hurst, the tight end 2. They can really control. They controlling this tight end. It's the tight end 2s that's coming in, getting her done. Getting her done. Receiving. Why is it always receiving yards for the running backs? So it's 20. What is this? 22 yards receiving. 15 is plus 185. 20 is plus 300 on ESPN bets. The line, again, if I'll even come down here, y'all, and even entertain these higher numbers, that right there tell you without being said that I like the actual line set today by the books. If I'll even come down here, and I'm not opening this until I see bright green. So if I'll come down here for the ones who be wondering or new, if I'm coming down here and I'll even entertain what your odds is for a potential ladder, clearly I like whatever the line set is. What's up with it, D-Duff? They switched it. Oh, I did reset that thing. Hold on, saying that. Is it the same? Yeah, basically it's all this what I looked at so far. Hold on. Yeah. I forgot I just refreshed it. I'm about to say it should go game to game. Good looking. He don't even run the ball. I'm not even about to even look at that. That Nick Chubb. So receiving yards. So still, look, the 9.5. They're giving up 24 this season. Which is what's the odds on 9.5? Minus 103. You getting it at plus money is something at 11. 10.5 on Fanatics. Like you and She's, I was mad too. Man, bruh. You know how I go. That should be crazy, don't it? There any more gems in this game? There is not. We move. It's a lot of fucking games on here. Player props. What's wrong with Gardner Minshew? Why he don't got no lines? They don't know if he playing today? Any Raiders fans in the chat? What's going on with him? Why they don't got his lines up? All right, here we go. Rushing yards. They're giving up 77 rushing yards. Bengals are giving up 77 rushing yards to the RB1. His line is 33.5. He's gotten 92.60, so he's gotten well over the 50 a couple times this year, if trends matter. Y'all just seen that? His line just went from 49.5, just in our face, to 52.5. It still is under the 77, but damn, that just, literally, they just bumped this line 3 points, 3 yards, just in our face. What you can get at minus 110, but if they giving up 77, I'm gonna look all the way up to damn near 75 yards rushing for Madison. Is this rushing? Rushing. And we see where we can get those. Look, you getting that at 60 yards, you're getting that plus money. What about 50? Okay. 60 yards is where you start getting that plus money. Remember, like, you want to kind of try to identify these gems and these spots. You want to find spots where they giving it to you at plus money and you not understanding, like, why would you have this at plus money? You know what I'm saying? Seeing what you've researched. You want to find those. Don't be afraid of a leg that's plus money because it's going to limit the amount of legs you need to get where you're trying to be when you're making that parlay to a 10 to a 10 to 1 or something along those lines. You're going to, the object is, how can I get to that plus 1,000, plus 2,000, plus 10, whatever, using the least amount of people I can. And that's by you doing your due diligence, coming in here, looking at value that makes sense, but you getting it at plus money. Like 60 yards receiving, I'm rushing, it's plus 130 on FanDuel. Seeing that they allow 77, that's not a bad option for you to take at plus money because it's going to limit you to not having to go 6, 7, 8 and more legs. If you could keep your parlay At 4 or less, you know you doing something. Like, you know you own to something because it's less people you need to accomplish a goal to get you paid. So if you could keep it 4 or less, you know you own to something. Yeah, you'll have times where it might be 5, it might be 6, but I'm saying if you could stay within that 4 or lower amount of legs and be at 10-1 or higher, you know you're doing something right as far as like your research, as long as it makes sense to you. 60 yards at plus 130, seeing they allow 77 is a good read. Whether we can't focus on if he's gonna do it or not. We don't know. We not you. We can't play the game, but that's a good read. Even going up to 70. 70 is plus 205 on FanDuel. That's a good read. Seeing that they give up still more than on average than the actual line that you take. And these are good reads with good value in them that you could take. 2 of these, you at plus 1,000 already. You don't even need to go 3 or 4 legs. You know what I'm saying? 4 of these plus 130s, or 3 of them. I think it'd be 3 to plus 1,000 or 4 to most. You taking this at 60, if you want to play it a little safer, still you only gonna need 3 or 4 of these to get to 10-1, plus 1,000, 100 to 1,000, $10 to 100. So that's what I'm trying to get through your mind, is trying to find that value to where you're not focusing on it's only safe to you or makes sense to you if the odds is negative. That's not what make it safer. The lower legs is what make it safer. Yeah, they changing these lines like a motherfucker because people starting to hammer shit that they seeing. So don't be afraid to go over, or even if it's their line, it's times where I don't even have to go over. For whatever reason, you giving me their actual line for the day at plus money. If that makes sense from the defense side, I love finding lines like that where you don't got it favored it to happen, but from what I'm seeing, it has high potential to happen from the defensive liabilities that I'm seeing. So don't be afraid to take plus money. Plus money scare way too many people way too often. Gems. We need gems. We need gems. All right, here we go. 21 yards. What's this? Rushing? Let's just make sure. Let's get some rush attempts. We'll go less than, what's the most rush attempts he's had? Less than 7, because the most he done had is 6. So it took away that dropping it down to 12.8. You see how it's not bright green no more. So it took away that ladder aspect for me when I'm thinking gym. But seeing that the 13 is over 10.5 and he averages more than the 10.5, the line is something that you can entertain. That 10.5 line, and look, guess what? This is a perfect example of what I was just talking about. Even his line at 10.5, it's at plus money on DraftKings. I love finding stuff that makes sense to me where it's like, well, he averaged more than the line. They allow more than the line, and you willing to give me that 10.5 at plus money. Those are the ones I jump on the first. I love when your actual line, I ain't got to go extra and like find the super value. When your line itself is plus money, and the read makes sense from looking at the defense allowed and what he's doing, and it makes sense that way. I love finding plus money on just your line that's set for the day anyway. that right there is really like a gem itself, is not being afraid to take lines that's plus money, and you like, well, let me go take the alt line a couple under, because in your mind, seeing a negative in front got you thinking that that's what made it a safer play. Burrow is 7.5. Burrow is 7.5. What you talking about? Oh, the line is 7.5 on Bet365. That's even better, because then it would be damn near double. But what's the odds on SD Miller? What's the odds for that 7.5? All right, we move. See, so I'm saying you got to stay away from names. You'll learn that the more you gamble. A lot of people, if you've been doing it long enough, you've probably, I'm not gonna say all the time, but everybody have figured out like you make more money on like role players if you've been doing it long enough. Because for one, everybody be on the superstars. So it's not a lot of value there, because at one point, if you're not a person who get up every morning early, find the best lines, most likely you getting less value on those props anyway, because it had already been hammered. But not even that though. I always look at it like the star players is who the people target them, like focus in on the most. So if you start watching, it'd be a lot of value in the people that don't. That's why I say try to stay away from names. Don't, oh, that's such and such, because it's still, at the end of the day, he's still got to go out there and perform against that defense that's either showing you they good against that position or they're terrible against it. So don't let the names really like window you in and like, oh, I gotta play him. That's Chase. You know what I'm saying? That's whatever the case may be. Like, no, oh, that's Justin Jefferson. But yeah, but who is he going against today? That matters. -110. I hammer this shit out. 7.5 and -110. I would take the 10.5, but 7.5, and you still at that -110. I take that for sure. Jamar Chase, that was one I was thinking about, like name wise. If you want lines, Eric All Jr. He averages 17. His line is 17. He's averaging 17. They're giving up 19. If you want to go a little deeper, and I'm just talking about like a line here, you can go less than. What's the most targets he done had? The most targets is 4, so go less than 5. Now it changes for me, it changes. So they just basically telling you if a person ain't really getting a lot of receptions, bro, what am I doing? Targets, I'm tripping. The targets is here. Oh, same numbers. It was still the same. Less than 5 targets, so it's still the same. Less than 5 targets, it's a different ball game when they only getting the amount of touches or targets that Eric Hall Jr. is getting at that tight end 2 spot. So you got to keep that in mind. Hope y'all like. I know some people. I know I done talked to a few people in my DMs. They be they be gambling, taking the props as we go, which be crazy. Do we take? And he was still running. When is his first game back, y'all? Last week. He was running. The Buffalo Bills, they allowed 24 yards receiving to quarterbacks, 24 yards rushing. He's averaging 14 yards rushing in his 3 games this season on 3 attempts or more. I mean, on 3, 2, and 1 attempts. So what I will do, rush attempts, it got to be less than 4 attempts. Just see, take out these people over here with 6 attempts and 5s and all that. See what happened. Okay, so it still is double his line. So 5, that tell you out the gate. He bright green over here, meaning he's way over his line. They're still bright green, so that 5.5 should automatically stick out to you, out the gate. Yeah, that's crazy. I was about to say it, and I looked like he had 3 rush attempts still? Dude, just stop running. What's going on? Keep going, Prime. Like, why are you running? But seeing that he is, again, I can't think about nothing that, hey, you still running. That's all I know from what I'm looking at. So out the gate, seeing that it's bright green on both sides, that should damn near tell you out the gate the 5.5 is a steal. Take the 5.5, and you getting that at -125 on DraftKings. But if you want to go up to this 10, seeing that they're giving up 12, 145, which is crazy that they'll give you 11 on DraftKings at +170. 11 is a weird ass number. FanDuel gonna give you 10, 15, like where the next FanDuel at? Oh, they ain't even put it on here. FanDuel ain't even got it. So that 5.5, his line looks very much appealing. That 5.5, seeing that he averaging 14 and they're giving up 12, that's well on both sides, well over his line today to get you 6. Safety to him, but get them yards for us. Yeah, like he gotta chill, man. He definitely gotta chill. So here we go right here. Now we getting somewhere. The RB1. So clearly they're giving up a lot of their ass on rush yards. They're giving up 79 yards rushing to the RB1. He's averaging 51. So again, he's averaging more than the what's name. Now, if you want to rush attempts, we can go rush attempts just to make sure. Less than, what's the most rush attempts he got? 23. So because it's 22. Now you come down to 60. So it's still green. So if you want, you can go look at, let's see, his line is 50. What am I doing? Click 50. You can see what they give you for 60. You're getting 60 at +144. FanDuel +130. If you want to, if you think that his touches can go up, you can take off the attempts and let just the average play and look up to 70, which is +225 on FanDuel, +200 on Bet365. Seeing that they're giving up 78. Do they give you a 75? Oh, that 71 is +210. No, you got to go. I'm not going up to 80. So his rush yards is a good play far as seeing that they're allowing on average what damn near 80 yards rushing, and his line is only 50. His line is only 50. His line is only 50. Can you take all the attempts? You can. But there's only one. Like, that ain't really going to do shit for me. Receiving. Raheem, they giving up 15. He's averaging this little 3.5, 5.5 line, y'all. If y'all ain't paid attention, it's a 3.5 and a 5.5 line, and we keep seeing that can be super hammered for these running backs on a couple different players. Whose is? Him or him? Oh, well, neither one of them, as far as like both added, I ain't fucking with them. But the receiving yards there. Make sure receive with targets, receptions, targets. So 4 less, just to make sure. Less than 4. Oh, see, that changed. That changed. And that matters, y'all. Don't let these averages get out of hand because, like, look, you had a person right here who had 6 targets, a person here with 4. Seeing that he ain't got 4 or 6 before, you need to get them out of there and then get an average. You want to try to keep this right side as much as possible close to a person with a similar game style to the person you're looking at. That's that extra in depth. And again, step by step, I show you all that in that pinned tweet, in that pinned YouTube link where on the first day we did that full session showing you how to navigate as far as using all these filters. All right, we move. And like I said, when you look, I can just look how fast I'm able to go just looking for value because that bright green gonna stand out rushing. Here we go. Ray Davis. We got another one. They're allowing 34 yards to his position. His line is 20.5. Again, he averaging 30 yards rushing. They give up 35 yards rushing. So the 20.5 is kind of like a no-brainer, right? He's averaging 10 yards over his line today. They're giving up 15 yards over his line today. So the actual 20.5 is kind of like a no-brainer. That should automatically catch your attention. Appreciate that follow. And you getting that at plus money over at Fanatics. And look, it's favored to happen on DraftKings, Sleeper, Bovada, but then Fanatics is that steal. This is why you line shop. This is why it's very important to line shop. It may not seem like most, but that 15, that difference between that minus 115 and that 100 is dollars, pennies to the dollar, dollars to the 100. That matters. When you get to betting 100, you know what I'm saying? That should be dollars to the 100. So it's like you getting $100 flipped on here where you would be getting $85 profit from here. That'd be mattering. You getting that at plus money over at Fanatics. Fanatics is another one. I don't even know why they show me. Fanatics got me limited. ESPN bets got me limited. Like, it's crazy. But that 20.5 is very appealing. But when you thinking value, that's what this bright green should tell you. Where can I get some extra potential chances at? 25 plus 115. 30 plus 120. Oh, that's 26. 30 is plus 175 on ESPN bets. 34. 34. Oh, you got to go up to 35. But they're only giving you these odd numbers. FanDuel ain't giving you no alt lines for some of them. But that's because FanDuel is stuck in just straight 25, 35, 50, 40, like shit like that. Ray Davis is 19.5 on FanDuel, minus 135. Even better. Hold on. What was it? What was his line? So that's even better. Me personally, if I could lay money down on Fanatics, I would go to Fanatics. I'll take seeing that the average and giving up is both like 10 points cushion. I would take the 1 extra yard for the value in that plus money. But since I can't, that 19.5 really look good. Let me see if the 19.5 is on here. Oh, it's right here. Okay. So it's 19.5 on FanDuel. Like, I really like that. Like, some people got 18.5. Oh, yeah, I ain't going that low. So yeah, so for 20 yards, it's minus 110. That is great value, seeing that he averages well over that. He didn't hit that in the last 3 games alone. And they're giving up 34 yards. That 20 yards is a very, very, very good play. Very good play. So keep that in mind. And again, I think, what's these rushing yards? So again, you can go less than. If you want to narrow it down, the most attempts he's had is, why is he the running back 2? Motherfucker done had 21 attempts. So yeah, that number gonna stay the same. Yeah, that number gonna stay the same. He done got hella touches. Is the other dude hurt or something, y'all? Thank you for that follow, Duke Madison. So it's real value in Ray Davis line. And for the ones who, like I said, who like to make, who focus more on parlays, take advantage of those. Like if I look into a ladder, or even when I'm like pointing out like these people who, when the average on their side, they average more than they line and it's green on the other, these are great parlay pieces for you. Because like I said, don't be afraid to take those minus 110s, because you'll only have to use 4 of them to get to plus 100. You won't need to go 6, 8, 10, 12, 15 legs on your parlay. If the read makes sense, play them. Again, you can take the alt line and go less and they still sell. It happens to every person in all 100 people in here. We've all took less, where the odds be minus 180, minus 200, minus 300. They still sell you. So that tell you alone, odds ain't what make a play safe. Your best bet is to try to keep the least amount of people on there that you need to accomplish their goal. So that was it for what's this? We move. New England Titans. Was that what James Cook playing? What you mean? What James Cook ain't been playing? He the RB2. So yeah. So it have to be. Look, let's see. James Cook, 17 rush attempts, 6 rush attempts. And in them 6 rush attempts, he got it. 12 rush attempts, 5 rush attempts, less, and still got it. What kind of game was this? How the hell did he have 20 rush attempts and he had 20 rush attempts? Either way, he still got it. So yeah, this is what James Cook playing. Yep, this is at that RB2 spot. Every game, he still play with the less touches, except for this one. They both had 20 touches, which is crazy. But even with him getting his he averages 7 touches a game. Even getting his 7, he is covering. Yeah, he's getting that 20 yards for sure. Yep. I'm glad you asked that, because that is something you can look that they do that I love. They got the RB1 and the RB2, and you can see the difference in the RB2 got this many attempts, he got this many attempts. So yeah, where you can think to yourself like, well, will he get that even with James Cook playing? Hell yeah, he's already done it. When Ray get 20 touches 3 games ago, he had 20. It said 20 attempts, and Cook had 20 attempts. Am I reading that wrong? Right here. October 14th versus the Jets. Cook was out that game, 14th. Oh, okay. Okay, I'm glad you said that, because now I can see. I'm looking at the bottom 3. Okay, so the week before he had 20. And then he did it the week after. Okay, but still, even with that, the 20th and the 27th, since Cook back, 27th, he's well over that 19 and a half. Even with the lower amount of touches, he get the job done, for sure. He get the job done. Okay, cool. I'm glad you said that. I'm like, 20 touches in the same game a piece is crazy, but it makes sense that it was different weeks. What we got? Okay, hold on. Receiving yards. 40. His line is 20 and a half. They're giving up, Titans is giving up 40 yards receiving to the wide receiver 2 slot. Again, look, y'all, he averaged 31. So like I said, this identifies spots where you see the average for the receiver or the person and the average allowed. When they both is green, meaning it's over the line for the day, it's a no-brainer. Yeah, do your part as far as looking at targets. Like, again, we can see if this matter. Let's say less than, the most targets he done got is 6, so less than 7 targets. Now look, it adjusted. He still averaged more, but we need defensive liabilities. That's what we want. We want defensive liabilities. So that changes everything. And those filters, like I said, they only make you sharper. When you see something, generally what I do is I'm only stopping when I see dark green, personally. Then I'll do myself that due diligence and add in the extras. So like, boom, like for instance, Calvin Ridley. We scroll. This is the next, from looking at this, that has potential to go over. Now, the next thing I want to do is let's get people that's kind of like you. I'm doing less than. Me personally, y'all, I like between, because if I do between and put the lowest targets you done had, And the most, literally, I am making it to where the average is going to be the same as the Calvin Ridley. So you got like those same kind of people. So I like between. I'll take your lowest number 3 and your highest targets in the game, which is 15. Now just show me that, which is still everybody. But when I see that when you automatically catch my attention at bright green, and then I filter it and you still bright green, oh yeah, I really love it. And again, if I really love it over here as far as taking your alt lines, the 49.5 is a given that I like the 50 yards receiving. If I'm willing to take you at 60, 70, I clearly like the 50, you know what I'm saying? But the point is, we looking for those that we can take for extras. We looking for people that haven't done it lately but have the potential to go ahead. So his line is 50. Damn, there's so many little lines in here. Where's 60 at? Okay, so 60, you already at plus 118 on FanDuel. They giving up 77, so we're gonna keep going. We're gonna keep climbing to see. Remember, if we can get to plus 300 minimum and still be under the average they allow, that's how you know that you're cooking as far as having you a gem in there. 65, 70. So 70, 182. See, for me with him, I will only take his line because the 200s mark don't start till you get to 80. And again, you could take it like you could look at it like, well, it's only 2 yards. If he could get 77, he can get 80, which may be true. It's just a thing that keep me again embodied. Like you got to have some type of like laws to how you look at stuff because it'll help you decipher from other stuff where you don't overwhelm yourself. So for me, by me going over, you see how that number done turned red now? That's automatically telling me I done went over that line. Look, I done went over that average. So I'm only gonna go as high as I can go without going over, and I'm looking for if I can get like plus 200 minimum, 2 times my money at that prop. But I do love his 52.5. I love the 52.5, just seeing that they giving up 78 yards receiving. And I don't know what's happening lately, but you can see like it kind of started, then it slowed down here. He getting his targets again. He's starting to get his targets back like a wide receiver 1. So that's something for you that you notice. Like, okay, his targets is going up every game, but the books fuck up too. They still going off of the average of even when he was getting 3 targets and stuff with these lower yards. So you finding value there. Like I could see with my own eyes that they're getting into their rhythm. He and the quarterback. This is the perfect time to get in your rhythm, seeing that this defense, the Patriots defense, is giving up a lot of yards. That cornerback 1, he a liability out there. And you can see that from seeing the yards he give up. So keep that in mind with Calvin Ridley. Okay, here we go. Receiving yards. Chig, Okonkwo, whatever his name is, the tight end. They're giving up 42 yards. His line is 22.5. But now first you got my attention is bright green for 42. I have to see between, let me get players who are getting the targets that you get. The lowest he's gotten is 2. The most he's gotten is 5. Boom. It went away from that ladder factor for me because now we done went down to like 30. We right around your number now. And for me, remember, like for as far as 22.5, that don't mean he can't get it because they starting to pick up their rhythm. But it's like over here, you got it 2 games ago. But again, to try to narrow down these bigger slates with all these players, try to have some type of way you look at it and just stick to it. No matter who it is, no matter who you may have to look over. Really had a different quarterback last week. Should be money. Yeah, try to stick away from that and just let the stats stick to your guns on how you looking at it, like what I'm looking for. Figure out what you want to look for in a player, what needs to happen on both sides or one side, and stick to it. I'm getting better with that. That's something I had to work on because I'm like, if I'm like, okay, I ain't taking nothing under, let's just say 75. Say a person was at like 74, and it's a person who I know. I'm like trying to talk myself and no, I got to stick to my guns. I said nothing lower than that, nothing lower than that. And I'm even a work in progress with that. And I'm getting way better. because I'm able to find my spots in bigger slates of football and basketball, and it's not giving me no issues because I'm sticking to my guns. Green. So you got 15 yards they're giving up to quarterbacks, but again, he's averaging 4. So that tells you alone you need to look at a person that's running around the amount of times on average. So the lowest is 0, the highest is 3. 0 to the most 3. And it still is 11.5. So that's something you might want to look into. You go off pass yards line. That's something they're still, when I go to somebody who won't even run a lot, they're still dark green. So seeing that his line is 2.5, 6 is plus 125, 10.5 is plus 350. 10.5 is plus 350, which is 11, which still is under the average they're allowing. That's why it's still green. So that's something that you can look at. His 2.5 line, they don't have favored it to happen. But looking at this, he averages more than that. They're giving up more than that. And we even narrowed it down to people that only run 1 or 2 times a game. And they both games, they gave up that 3 yards. So Derek Carr rushing yards and even potential to go over, I think up to 11 yards was plus 370 on DraftKings. Something to keep in mind. There's some value there. Remember, when you can get to the plus 3 or 250 or more, and you still ain't even hit the average allowed, you onto something. Those are spots you might want to stick around for a little bit. All right, so, damn, he ain't been doing nothing except for this one time he got these 9 targets. So we definitely gonna have to target this. Shit gonna change. Because from right now, his receiving yards look good money. Between the lowest amount he's had is 0. The most he's had is 9. He's still over though. They took a couple players off that was like 10, 11 targets and whatnot. Could take a knee as well. Oh, I'm very aware of that. I always tell people that. Yeah, every knee is 2 yards off. That's why, again, in that position, it's a good thing that his line was 3 and they was giving up way over it. So even if you was to take the 3, they was giving up 11. So if you can even get up to like 6, 7, 8, you can afford to take a couple kneels and stay over that 3 yards. Oh yeah, for sure. That's a good point. So even filtering it down to a person like him, target wise, they're still over it. So you can come look at 25. 30 yards is plus 120. 31 yards plus 120 over at DraftKings. 36 yards, right? If you push it to that limit. Appreciate that follow. Is at plus 165. I don't have for me, the ladder value that I'm looking for, where I don't got to go over your average and I'm still in that plus 200 minimum. I don't have that leisure, so I'm not going to ladder it, but you can look into his line if you like, which I wouldn't. I'm not sold on, seeing that you don't even get it. Like literally, like it's tough out there for my boy. Who is this? The wide receiver 3. He's questionable, so you have to pay attention to that. But still do your part and see they're giving up 32 yards receiving to the wide receiver 3 slot. Targets 0 to 7. Let's just say 0 to 7. You're still in that mark, which is crazy because y'all look, I don't know what's happening, who hurt, who not. Something's happening where his targets, he's actually getting involved in this offense. You know they got the new feature. You can customize props to whatever yards you want. On here? What you talking about? So yeah, so look, y'all, like we done went down to people within his target range, right? You still well over it. And receptions. And look, his receptions, this is a good read right here for the simple fact. Look at his receptions. Even if you didn't want to take it, because look at his receptions lately. Like, I don't know their offense, so I don't know what's happening here where his production. Yeah, on FanDuel. Oh, no, I ain't hip. Hell no, I ain't hip at all. His receptions is something to look into, seeing that his production is going up these last couple weeks. You can get alt lines over here. Okay, so they're giving up 4 receptions. Let's see, 3 receptions. Oh, you got to go up to 5? Like, what the fuck is 3 at? So we'll go yards. They were missing 2 receivers. They must still be out because he on here. But it say questionable. So, but again, write these type of people down, and you be like, okay, even if they don't give me his lines right now, I still remember what I saw. So if y'all try to sneak them lines in on me, like I'm well aware and I'm ahead of y'all. He out. So his yards. So look, and look at his yards these last couple weeks, y'all. When he getting them targets, he evolved. So 32. So let's see. His line is only 15 and a half. Let's see where we can getting up to without going over 32. So 30 you can get at plus 250. You know, 2 of those plus 1,000, 10 to 1. You can get 30 yards at plus 250 over at ESPN bets on Cedric Wilson, and you're still under this average they allow. And seeing that his production is going up, they said somebody was hurt, which will make sense. Like that you go from like one target, maybe more games not than it do, but 3-7. You getting way more receptions, yards, and things of that nature. So Cedric Wilson Jr. say questionable, but keep it, keep that tuck, keep it close, like something you could look more into. What was this receiving? Chuba Hubbard. That name is always funny as shit to me. Targets. Let's see. So they showing you right here that it's over. Let's just make sure the targets make sense. Targets between where you at? 0 to 6. You still well over it, 25. So you can look in his receiving. You get 25 at plus 225 on FanDuel for 25 yards receiving from Hubbard. Seeing that they allow 25, you could push it if you want to go down some and see you still getting plus money at even 21. Minus 115, 15 and a half, which was his line, right? Yeah, his line. You getting good value on his line, and as far as up to 25, you can come to plus 225 on FanDuel for that. It's some value there, and we even narrowed it down to, like I said, his targets, rushing yards, Miles Sanders. Got to make sense. Rush attempts between attempts 1 and 7. Changes. It ain't giving that ladder value no more. Oh yeah, okay. For sure. So as I end the stream, I'm gonna definitely look over there. Appreciate that follow. Who we here? Xavier, whatever his name is, wide receiver 1. He's questionable, so his lines might not be available. I'm not sure, but keep in mind, at the end of the day, we found the weakness. That's all that matters to us. Well, it looked like a weakness. Targets 0 to 10. Most you done got in the game is 10. Yeah, still got a weakness. We found the weakness. So whether they go give you his lines or not, I would pay very close attention here. Um, they're giving up 69 yards receiving to the wide receiver 1 slot. 40 plus money. 50 plus 185. What they giving up? 68. 60 plus 310 on DraftKings, and even 65 plus 350. So you can get 60 yards receiving for him that he could potentially get due to the weakness in the defense at plus 310 on DraftKings today. 36 and a half on 365 minus 110, 36 and a half. Hold on. What was his actual line? What's his line? Okay. So you saying 36 and a half is minus 110? Okay. So you're getting a little better odds over there. Bet. Gotcha. Which is very much appealing because, like I said, they're giving up so many yards rushing. Oh shit! No, that's something you can entertain. So where the hell are we at? So I would keep an eye on this guy. I don't know if the line's available or not, or how this gonna play out. Play it close. We got an hour and a half before games start. Man, they need to do something, bro. They definitely need to do something. Because that shit don't make no sense. Here we go. Tight end one. Another one who's questionable, but we can't focus on that. We still want to make sure that we pay attention and seek out these targets. So targets, let's make sure that the numbers stay the same with 0 to the most targets you've had 4. Definitely changed. Never mind. When you get to see, look, 11 targets, 10 targets, 7 targets, 6 targets. These are 6 targets. These are targets that people are getting that he don't even get near. So their offensive styles of these teams that he's played in these positions, the tight ends are more involved in the scheme. That's what it's telling you. The numbers can tell you a story without ever even watching the game. He's not involved in Panthers offense like these tight ends who getting all these targets and numbers is in their offenses. So take that out. I need to see people that's kind of like in getting the same production as him. So once I stop and I see this, if it still is dark green after I do those and narrow it down some, then I'm staying around. But till then, that can change everything. Just looking at people that's kind of like-minded, like even balling, like Jaden balling, but it's not like from what we see on average. The average makes sense. It's just a consistent number. They're not really allowing much. Do that mean that Jaden can't go over here and hit every line he got? No, that don't mean that. But put yourselves in the best position by finding weaknesses and defenses. It's just that simple. They got a bet 500, get 250 in bonus bets going. I seen that this morning. I woke up, got my coffee, took my shower, got straight to the episode. So get this out the way. I gotta look at all that, but I definitely did see it though for sure. All right, so look. Oh, you said he's out. Then can somebody confirm before I even? Didn't you just say Brian Robinson Jr. out? Somebody, I just want to make sure. Okay, okay, okay. But how you look at it still don't let the value that we see over here go away. I will one of two things. Doink is going to update it so you can wait it out so they can fill in this spot with somebody else, or just keep a mental note. No matter who plays the running back one spot, they're still allowing 20 yards receiving to that position. That's why I attack positions, because it'll help me stay away from players and I just attack who's playing in that spot that day. You know what I'm saying? So keep that in mind. Still want to keep a lookout. They'll update it, but just in case they don't, who would be the backup, which was probably going to be, him? Would it be Austin Eckler? Eckler out too? Is that what you're saying? But I would still keep that in mind. Like, okay, until I do my filtering and whatnot, it's still some type of value because the Giants defense give up a lot of, give up receiving yards, 20 receiving yards a game to the running back. So it's all about who plugged into that spot versus who the actual player is. So still keeping in mind that it's a weakness there. That don't take away from the weakness to that position. Where you at? Come on with a bright green. And look, this how you know that it got to make some type of sense. If you was in here the first stream 4 days ago, remember we looked over Thursday Night Football and I was just scrolling, didn't find nothing dark green on the right, and I'm like, man, this game ain't got shit in it. And that game was horrible for at least the first 2-3 quarters. I think it kind of picked up, but that game was horrible. Remember we was looking at it and it was like everything on the defensive side allowed for both teams, everything was just red. Like they wasn't really giving up nothing. That's why I was like, we didn't find one prop in that game, but I think it was Garrett Wilson's receiving yards. That's what I be saying. That's why I be so confident in just looking at this, and I don't even have to stop. I don't even care what your name is or what you've done over here until I can find a weakness in the defense. It's going to be games you go through where you don't see no defensive weaknesses. Was Mixon and Garrett Wilson receiving. They was great. Right. Like, that's why I don't really focus on, I don't look on the left side until the right side show me lock in on this. They keep letting people get off on this. So I literally can scroll through these games and I know instantly, like, it's lines. When I see double greens, that mean I might potentially could take your line. But when I'm looking at like them gems, It don't take me no time to do, like, boom, it'll instantly catch you. Michael Wilson got my attention first. I see bright green. Next, what do we need to do? We need to make sure that these are players that's in the same rows. The lowest targets he done had was 2. The most targets he done had was 9. That's kind of like in the same production level as him, which they all were. So now that even make, after filtering, the 53 stand out even more. Mixing rushing. I think we went to, I ain't see it. So 31 yards receiving, minus 110. You can get 36 yards receiving. Oh, yeah, receiving. You can get you can get 36 yards receiving at plus money on DraftKings. Where we at for 40? You getting plus money on both at 40. We stand under 50. You can get 46 at 190. Where's 50 at? You can get 50 at plus 235. That's where I want to be at. I'm under the average and I'm in that plus 200 or more range. That helps me so much personally. Keep my parlays no more than ever 4 legs by staying at plus, if I can find that plus 200 or more 2-to-1 odds without going over the actual average allowed. That's all I'm aiming for. That right there is everything I need to see to signal me when I want a piece or I want to ladder somebody. The more I can get, the more value I can get while keeping this number green, meaning I'm staying under it, I'm going to keep going up. That's where I'll be looking for that extra value at. Who going against your Bears? Them Bears, hey, whoever that CB2 is, brother, nigga better get some defense. He out that bitch getting smoked. And look, and the 3 targets. Let's make sure his targets make sense. I don't need to see, like, I can see out the gate, y'all. It's an 8 here. Oh, he got an 8. I'm gonna say, but like a person like here with 8, I don't need to see him, and I don't need him intruding in this average. If this motherfucker averaged 3 receptions, they're nothing alike. So take that number out of here so I can get a better read on these people. The lowest he's had is 2. The most he's had is 8. And that number is still there. It's not, this number is not bright green to where I'm looking ladder, but the average here that they allow and his average is well over his line, which is 13.5 today. That you can get, if you got BetMGM, that's the best line. But it's at minus 110, minus 120 on DraftKings. Yeah, you better off because for 15 yards, minus 115, you can get a whole extra yard off for minus 5 more. So on Greg Dortch on DraftKings or Bet365, on BetMGM, it's good value there. Yeah, see, that's what I'm saying. That's why I don't get into, I could be on here just repping my Browns all day, but it still have to make sense here. I don't put no emotion into it. Like, I love my team and want to see them win, but I will gladly go through your game and not play a single Browns player if that shit don't make sense on this screen. If it ain't no weaknesses against what you're playing against, I'm just hoping y'all go out there and beat a better team. But we talking player props. If it don't make sense, it don't make sense. I literally have probably only played 1 Browns prop all year. And matter of fact, I did. Last Sunday, I laddered Elijah Moore, 60, 70, 80 yards receiving, plus 350, plus 750, plus 1,300. And that was because when we went through his game, they had gave up like 99 yards receiving to whatever he is, like wide receiver 2 or something. But that's the only reason. Like, if it don't make sense here, I don't give a damn what team you play for. No, it might do though. But you see what I'm saying, Shamelo? It shows us. We don't gotta guess or nothing. It's telling anybody looking at this, it's something going on with that CB2 and CB3. If they the ones who giving up the receiving yards and the CB1 was controlling the wide receiver one. It just, without me even knowing the team or who it is, these numbers on average is telling us like, okay, I don't know who over there, but it's something going on in that defense. Yes, you can. Yes. I'm scared of unders. Jigga Fame, appreciate that follow. I'm scared of the unders. But the same way we look at bright green, hell yeah. If you see double reds or bright red on the defensive side, if you okay with the unders, if you a person who take unders, yeah. Same thing. Let me see. Like right here. Like, for instance, just for example, for what you asked me, Evan Ingram, 50 and a half yards receiving. Not only do you average lower than the 50, it's bright red, meaning that they average way lower than the 50. That is something, this 50 and a half for Evan Ingram. If you a person who entertain unders, this is a smash under, seeing that he averages lower than the line and they give up way lower than the line. Evan Ingram under is a great read, whether he get it or not. We can Our job is to make the read. The player got to do what the player do that he showed us that he's done. That's a great read, taking Evan Ingram receiving yards under, seeing that they only giving up 25 on average. And again, why do I like the averages? Pay attention to this, y'all. Look at the receiving yards. 0, great. When you thinking under, 20, great. 0, great. 52, damn, he would have hit. 31, great. 0, great. 73, damn, he would have hit. If I care about individual games, me seeing a 52 and a 73 would take me away from all these great games they played defensively because of seeing an individual number. That's why, look, even with them little 2 outlier games, with all these great defensive games, the average is going to show overall they are playing great defense. That 52 here, that 73 3 weeks later, that's not going to take away from showing you the overall picture that they're playing great defense. That's why I try to stay away from like the individual number, and I want to see the average, because you'll kind of weed out those outlier games for me and still give me like, okay, they got an out-of-body game week 4 and week 7, but week 1, 2, 3, 5, and 6, they balled out and played great defense against the tight end. That's why averages at the bottom matter to me versus these numbers. Everybody gonna have an outlier game where you off 1 week and your defense give up something you usually don't. That average gonna still show you, no, they actually be balling out. They balls out in them spots, so keep that in mind with that. So if you like unders, that was just an example for like, if you like unders, answering your question, that is a great spot. He don't average the 51 and a half overall. Like here, a person to look at 102 yards, like, damn, he had 100 yards receiving this year. But what about when he had 5? What about when he had 35, 36? This average gonna keep them out of body games in a certain area to where it still won't take away from the ultimate picture that he ain't been producing. So that is a good under if somebody in the unders, by looking at he don't average it, and they bright red, meaning they, just like a bright green, they giving up way less than that line. For those who want to utilize that as far as for under props. I need to get in there. I keep telling myself I need to just play one here or there, but I'll be so shook. I'll be so scared of unders. I don't care who you are. When I take your under, like, you just like out of body. It's just to be out. That's $16.99 for Doink already paid for itself. Is that what it is after using the promo code? It's well worth it to me. It's so many gems in this shit. Like, it's well worth it. All right, here we go. Another one, y'all. Kenneth Gaiman. We see bright green. So we thinking, do we got ladder potential? First thing we need to do, these are receiving yards. Let's get these targets in order. Let's see players along the lines of 0 to 3. Now we done got back neutral. Now, pay attention to this, though. We done got back neutral. The rushing yards went there. See how it went from like a potential of, damn, I could probably take over, to you just an average Joe when I go to people that got the production and the offense receiving wise that you get. $7. I'm motherfucker killed it under first play. That's on God. That's just like, but I have to get out of that because I can't sit here and look y'all in y'all face every day and preach value when I look over value just because it's something that I'm uncomfortable with. The biggest thing I had to learn in gambling when I first started was I had to get out my comfort zone. Like, I had to make myself understand how units and money management work, how to take my feelings and emotions out of all games so I don't focus on players and let the stats, let the read do its job. So I can't sit here and look at y'all and tell y'all you got to get out your comfort zone when I know deep down it's something that unders, I don't play them for that reason alone. But I need to get into that because there's value there. And that's the whole point of this, is trying to find the best reads for the best value and you just pray that they go out there and do what they've been showing you they can do on average, or over exceed. I can't look you in your face and tell you that, and I don't do it. But that is one of the only thing probably that I haven't got out of my own comfort zone with is playing unders. Unders like dead ass intimidate me. But you would think like unders like intimidate you. You out here playing plus 1,000 straights, but you worried about hell yeah, I'm worried about an under. Them unders is bloody. All right, so look, we got another one here. We got Devontae Smith. They're giving up 36. His line only 22.5. Got to make it make sense. Let's get these targets. The lowest amount of targets you had is 2. The most you done had is 10. All right, so even taking that off, oh, it went down. Okay, this long is throwing me off. So he still went down to, he not in the ladder mode for me no more, just being like, it ain't bright green no more because it's right close to that line. But it still is 80. Hold on, you might can find some value there. His line is 56.5. Let's see. 60 is plus money. Where's 70 at? 70 is plus 160, and it's 80. If you want to push the limit, 80 is plus 225. That's 79.8. That's 80. If you want to push that limit. But again, when I feel like I got to go to the exact number just to get to that plus 200 or more, that's when I consider that good. And I could probably find something better. We've seen plenty props every day in every sport where we getting crazy value and we don't even be at the average that they allow. So that one having to go to full 80 to get to plus 235, that's when I would probably just take the line if I'm going to take something. Unders are sweaty. It's a sweat out the gate. You got to think about that. It's one thing where you sweating. I'm not sweating the over in the first or second quarter of no sport. I actually stay the hell away from the people who do that because you giving me high anxiety. Under is a sweat out the gate. Out from the very first play of the game, you need that shit to stay under the entire game. So you sweating out the gate from start to finish. At least on the over, you giving yourself some wiggle room for them to get into their groove to get that. But an under is a sweat out the gate. I pass. Jaguars to the wide receiver 3 spot. They're giving up 30 yards, 14 yards long, which don't matter, but we got to get these targets between 0 and 4. So you ain't really getting many targets. So let's see what those guys are doing. Changes everything. When they got this kind of production, there ain't much of nothing going on. How do you pair Doinks with game day if you do? I don't. I use those totally different. But I used to on NBA, but I only would go on game day for my potential assists or my rebound chances, but Doink end up adding it. So I don't have to like make it. That's why I'm saying like if you notice, I haven't been going over there lately is because I'm trying to show y'all like, and shout out to Doink because they take everything. We talk all the time, everything I'm telling them or ideas they use, where it's kind of trying to make it like a one-stop shop for y'all. You want a line shop and you don't know how to line shop. Well, guess what? They done added that to where you got the line shop in here for you. Where am I gonna play this play at? Like I said, every which way they adding all these different filters. And if you a person who care about like money lines and spreads, you know what I'm saying? You got these against the spread records. So they adding all these different things to kind of make it to where you don't really have to go nowhere else. What's it then? Yeah. For like those extra things that I used to go over there for. And they actually got more. I'm not going to speak too much into it. We've talked. It's more coming this week. That'll make the research even more sharper, which of course, once those features get added on here, I'll be going over those with y'all as well. You'll see them. So y'all can ask me or I'll show you those new features that's coming this week. I ain't going to really get too deep into that, but it's more coming. No, I'm not saying that. I'm not saying you can't use it. Because like what they do have over there, if you want to get super in depth, like coverage stats, they tell you like which teams run man, which teams run zone, and then they tell you on the offense which teams, which players play better in the man, play better in zone. So you can definitely use that coverage stats if anything. I'm not gonna go back and forth because that would make a 5-hour video, and the slate is already too big. But you can use it for coverage stats and things of that nature for sure. Yeah, I think I'm gonna do it too, man. Cause I gotta get out of this. Fuck it, we're gonna go down together, SD Miller. Let's break this shit together, brother. So yeah, it's definitely useful. It's definitely useful. And they'll give it to you like defense first position. If you're more of a number person, like 30th ranked or 29th ranked, you can go over there. But to me, I'm getting the same thing out of these. I don't even need to know where you rank at. I can still see from these averages when you give up a lot of something to a certain position. Yeah, we're gonna go ahead and do that together then. So okay, here we go. Like here. Oh, we was here. Hold on. This is where we was at. Oh yeah. So we stopped here, Dotson. It broke down nothing. Boom. We got another one. The bright green should automatically catch your attention. Let's get these targets between 0 and 4. The line, it went away from that ladder mode, but they're still giving up more than his line, and he still averages more than his line, which is 25, which is plus money. Only on DraftKings. Everybody else still is like right there on the minus 110, minus 113, minus 108 on Pinnacle. DraftKings is a little behind the ball, and they gonna give you the full dollar for dollar on it, which is perfectly fine with me. If you looking for your parlay pieces, they giving you this at plus money, seeing that he averaged over 25 and they give up over 25, even with us putting this the targets in. And I mean, look at his 3 of his last 4 games, he done covered that line. So seeing that he's getting more targets lately, again, he went from 1-2-0. He's getting targets now. I don't know what's going on with him in the offense, but he's getting more productive, getting more targets, which is going to help him. When he getting the targets, look, he's getting the numbers. And they still giving it up on average. Okay, we there. We moving along. Are we still okay? We in 4. I say, damn, are we at least in 4 o'clock games? Jared Goff. Um, pass attempts. What's the lowest he done had? 15. Most attempts. 55 attempts is insane. Fuck. Okay, so that's basically everybody on here. So like again, like you see how you seeing like these green averages, meaning that they're averaging more than the line a day, and then you can match those up with the greens here for parlay pieces for sure. Like attempts. Nope, that's not green. Completions, parlay piece. Yards, parlay piece. 1.5 touchdowns. Well, this one is on average. So let's go rushing attempts, parlay piece. So rushing attempts I see is high too. So let's do rush attempts 1 to 3 a game. The most you done did was 3. They ain't got nobody who done ran that 5. Nah. Nope. Oh shit. This season. Nope. See where you going with that. Yeah, so you got some parlay pieces here. I know somebody had mentioned golf earlier. I don't see nothing worth laddering. You don't see this defensive like a liability. Like niggas hitting their numbers, but they're not out. They ain't giving up super way over his lines. Receiving. Here go another one. 7.5 is his line. Who is this? David Montgomery. It looked like it's a fire ass running back receiving lay that can be made. You do that as you may. It looked like it's a receiving yards running back lay that could be made from everything that we've looked at so far. But like, look at this, 7.5. He averaging 20 yards receiving. They giving up 20 yards receiving. But let's see. Hold on. Targets. Like, this don't make sense. Why is this line so low? 1, 2, 4. It might be different with lower targets. It's not. Like, why is this line 7.5? And he averages 20 and they're giving up 13 to anybody around them targets and 20 period. Am I tripping? Where is this at? 10 plus 105, 15 plus 175. So they're not going to, but still, like, what is up with this line right here? This 7.5. Am I missing something? Like, he averaging double that. They giving up double that. David Montgomery is in a good receiving yard spot, y'all. And again, like, even people with his type of receiving production, 1 to 4. He like they've every one of them done got 8 yards. Every one of them done got 8 yards receiving. So that's definitely a great spot. Come on, come on. Jordan Love might not even play. I don't think my boy playing today. Fuck. Receiving. He questionable. Like, what the fuck? Bro, we still, hold on. Targets. It's bright red. Bright green. We never skip bright green. The minimum targets you done had is 0. The most you done had is 6. 16 and a half. So it's not bright green no more, but still. Again, y'all, like, he averages more than his line today. They giving up with the filter on there more than his line today. So that 11 and a half at minus 115 is a good line. That's a good read. That's a great read. Like, you can look more into it if you want to and however you want to do it, but these are great reads. Try to keep the thinking out of it and let the read do its job. Let the read do what it do. Receiving. Okay, Jaden Reed. First, we got to get these targets right. This my dog. For y'all who don't know, like, I'm a Browns fan at heart. That's the home team. But if you know me, I'm a diehard Packers fan. My very first game I ever went to when I was a kid, my dad took me to see Brett Favre play. So I'm a diehard Packers fan. Anybody who like know me know that. I'm a Browns fan, yes, by nature. I'm born and raised in the city, but I'm a diehard Packers fan. So, and again, it's not many Packers props I've played this year, if any. I understand. I love my team, but man, I love my money. You feel me? That's what I love more than any goddamn thing. I love my money. So if the read don't make sense, I don't give a fuck who you play for. Shit just changed, y'all. Look, 3 to 8 targets. So he haven't had over 8 targets in the game. Now look at this though. Now look at the average, right? But look how it's throwing it off. 15 targets. He ain't seen that this year. 14 targets. He ain't seen that this year. 12, 11. The bigger numbers that's making this average look so crazy to us, it's not even the type of production he have in the offense. So take that out and give me a better average of what I'm dealing with that kind of get the same production he gets. They're giving up 6 targets. That's something you might want to look into. His targets, they're saying that they allow more, plus 140 for 5 receptions on FanDuel, 6 receptions, which is their actual what they allow, plus 265. The yards not gonna do it for me because that changed when I put that in. The targets is different. We want them to throw it more to him. That's not saying that they can't throw it to him more because he ain't got the targets, but I can't rely on extra targets for you to get more yards when you don't even see them type of touches on a regular. Why did you do 3 to 8? Did I do the wrong number? Why did I do? Okay, so look, this is what I'm doing. They're giving up all these receiving yards, right? They say 80, bright green. That's something that's going to tell me that might can be a ladder. But what you need to do is you need to target it to people with his kind of production. So seeing that, look, receptions targets. The lowest amount of targets he done got in the game this season is 2. The most he's gotten is 8. That's why I did 3. So the reason I'm doing that is because, look, now you're going to only show me people with the targets on average around people that get the amount of targets he get on average. And when I do that, if this is still bright green, when I done filtered it down to people that play in the system like Jaden Reed, then I'll keep going. But this is deceiving. 80 yards receiving is deceiving in the situation of these are people getting all these yards to make this average so high. Look at how many targets these people are getting to get those yards. These people are well more in producing in their systems, target-wise. I don't even care about the catches or the yards. But even if you getting thrown the ball this much, y'all are differently used in y'all systems than Jaden Reed is used in his system. That's why I'll be filtering targets on the defensive side to see if they still allowing these kind of yards to people who get less production on offense, if that makes sense. That's why I'm doing that target. But for receptions, that is different though to me. For me, the receptions is different. If they're allowing 6 receptions, I'll see what you can get as far as value-wise on his 6 receptions. It's the yards that would scare me because the average went down when it's a person who don't get as many targets. The people that was getting the amount of targets he get, no more than 8, like 8 or less, they out there, that shit all red. That's why I'm narrowing that down. You don't have to use that, but that is some way you can kind of like make a play that you like. It'll make you love it, if that makes sense. If it already be bright green and then you filter it down to that person rush attempts or receiving targets and it's still bright green, that go from I like this play to I love this play. Search for great, not good. That's how you gonna narrow down these big ass slates. Romeo Dowles, we in another situation. Now see, look, this motherfucker had 21 targets. Now look who this player is, Cooper Kupp. That's not fair to you researching to even compare or allow these type of targets and yards to affect this number when he is somebody who was clearly 21 targets. He only done seen 10 once. They're not even in the same type of usage in their systems. That matters because we want this average to be more accurate around people that have the type of usage and production that we dealing with. So it don't hurt you to be like, okay, I only want to see the people that's being used like a Romeo Dobbs so I can see what are you allowing to them kind of players. And you still will find bright greens after doing that. That's the ones you really want. When it's bright green out the gate, and then you dig a little deeper and filter and it's bright green. Least amount of targets 2, most 10. It changes everything. Now look, it still kept you where his 43.5 is very appealing. They're still giving up 61, and he's still averaging 55, which is both well over 43. But you notice it went from 80 to 61. That's the difference. It ain't bright green no more. Because people that got the kind of production he has, the yards ain't the same. That's not helping you by trying to compare him to or allowing somebody who got 21 targets. You know what I'm saying? You're, which we all know about Cooper Kupp, like you being super used. Like, I don't want that affecting this. You feel me? I don't want that to affect this. Oh, but look, his line, again, his line. I like the 50, I like 43.5, seeing that he still averages more. And even if filtering it down to people with his kind of usage and production, you still over 43.5. If you want, seeing that it still will be under both numbers, you can definitely go up here to 50, which you can get at plus 120, seeing that the 50 is still under his average and under 60. But I've been doing it long enough to know that if this is not bright green, you're not going to find, watch this, plus 184. Oh shit, look. Hold on. Even DraftKings is, I didn't realize they superior everywhere. They giving you a plus 215. I was about to say most of the time, 90% of the time, this going to have to be bright green to give you more room to do this to get up to them 200-300s minimum. But DraftKings is actually going to give you plus 215 for his 60. Might be something you want to look into. But the line, I love that 43.5. Love 43.5 on FanDuel at minus 110. Love it. He averaging well over that amount. We move. We only looking for the value spots. Here we go. Cody Parkinson. Receiving yards. Let's see. Least you done had is 2. The most you done had is 13. That's gonna probably keep you in there with everybody. On average, you get on average 5. Let me see. Oh shit. I want to see something. Hold on. 13. No. 2. All right. You still well over. Look, this is one I was just talking about. Touchdown with Robinson out. There you go. Jigga Fame. Look, this is one we narrowed it down to like that kind of production, and it still stayed bright green. That's one of the ones you go from liking it already from seeing it bright green to even after filtering it, it still is there. So seeing 49 yards, out the gate, I love 25. But we can go look at 30. Plus 120 on ESPN bets. What they giving up, 49? Plus money at 30.5. Plus 215 at 40. And you still under 49.5. but 49.5 be like pushing that limit. You got plus 380. But I like shit. It was what was it? At 40, you got plus 215 odds. You got plus 215 odds at the plus 40. So love his line. Love his odds. Here we go. We got a Russian. They're giving up more than his line, but we gotta make sure Russian attempts that they 1-5. Most he didn't have that. Oh yeah. All right, bet. Changes everything. So nope, not even interested. All right. Russian. Kenneth Walker. They're giving up 86 yards. This is a running back, so you can do rush attempts. Try to keep within like people that's rushing the amount of times he's rushing attempts. 5 all the way up to 20 attempts. Boom. It went from that, but look, 65. So, which is crazy because look, he had that 103 game, but he been like struggling, which is 52. But they still giving up 78. Where'd you get 70 at? Where am I at? 75, 70. You get 70 at plus 116 on FanDuel, minus one. Clearly don't want the minus money if you get it at plus money. But they're giving up 78 to people who averaging around. Oh, I know what to do. Let me see. Less than, yeah, okay. It's the same thing. Yep, it changed the average. Yeah, so they're still giving up 78. If you're interested in the Kenneth Walker line, but I'm sure you could find better in this game or somewhere. All right, Barner. Zero. The most targets he didn't have was 3. So you do with that as you want. Like it changed everything, especially when you're looking at like this year. Like if they're not getting over 3 targets, that matters. Look, a 14 target tight end, 6 target. You don't want them, their numbers, they're not even the kind of same player with usage and production as a person who don't get as many touches. Like you don't want their numbers interfering with this average. So you might as well filter them out. It's only gonna make your read even sharper. That's all. You don't have to do it, but it's helping you make a sharper read if you already like it. So what is this? This Sunday night, Flacco relax. Hold on. Okay. Yeah, so this Sunday night, okay, we got 76 yards. This only make it sharp. I already like the 76, but let's make sure you ain't ever got under 5 targets. 5 to what? 9. See if it still makes sense here. That bitch went up. I don't think I ever seen that. So he's definitely in the marks of ladder. Let's see where we got to go to get the plus 200. Where's the first plus 200? You're getting 200 at 80 yards receiving. What's this receiving? Yeah. You're getting 200 at 80 yards receiving. 275, 260. Fanatics got it at 300. Mind you, they're giving up 103. So even at 80, you at plus 275. 90, you at plus 400. And if you want go that 100 just to see, 100 is plus 600 for Michael Pittman from what the defense allowed a wide receiver ones who get the kind of production he get. Is it? Oh, I think it's back now. Should be. So Michael Pittman Jr. is in a good spot today for ladder for receiving yards, y'all. Michael Pittman receiving yards is in a good spot for laddering from what we seeing here. Like Alex Pierce, wide receiver 3. Of course, we don't see Bright Green where it's given like ladder, but you are seeing 3 things on both sides that is both green, meaning these lines should be very entertaining to you. 1.5 receptions, 25.5 receiving yards, 15.5 long, wherever you can get this at. That sounds crazy. Pause. Yeah, I probably would never say that one again. Fuck that prop. That sounded wild. But look, receptions and receiving yards. His lines look good because the average is on this side and this side. It's both green. Receiving yards for this Cox got. Oh, who is this team? It's a lot of weird shit happening. Mo Ali, whoever this dude is, like his receiving line is 12.5. He's averaging more than a 10. They give up 30. Let's see what kind of production 1 to 4. So he don't even get a lot of tries. But he still is getting, yeah, crazy, right? Who is this guy? Who is this? I don't know who he is, and again, I don't care who he is, but look, they're giving up 18 yards receiving. His line is 9.5. He averages 12.5. They're giving up 18 yards receiving to his position. So what is 15 plus 145? It ain't no value there. It's value in his line, but it ain't no like alt lines that I like. Yeah, that was crazy. Like back to backs though. Like what's wrong with this game? Back to backs. 71.5. Rushing yards for Aaron Jones. Looks good. Let's make sure with these rush attempts that it's gonna stay the same, which I'm sure it will for him. Attempts. 9 all the way up to 22. Which it didn't. That 71 went down. Let me see. What's the average? 71, 62. They're giving up 62 to people within that range of rush attempts. So never mind on that. All right, 6 for who was this? Justin Jefferson. Oh, this is the last one that I ain't saying. But look, let's see. You can do this too. You can go targets on a person who you may like, but just to see if it'll make more sense. Look, his targets is what? 6 to 14. You can see if it changed for you. It goes to 85, which is right on his line. I wouldn't free game for real, for real. In those days for him. Oh, for real? See? Like like, yep. Yep. Yeah, that Sunday night football looking like it's gonna be dirt. What did we see that was in here that was super? This that prop and this Mo Elite, if you can get his plus money at his line at 10.5 in this game, like him, it was that Michael Pittman. Him. It was Michael Pittman. Go back to his regular line. Yeah. Michael Pittman might be somebody you want to target tonight. And then what is this? Is this Monday night? We'll do Monday night tomorrow with the basketball slate. That's Monday night, right? All right. So yeah, we'll do Monday night tomorrow. So yeah. Yeah, so we'll do Monday night tomorrow. Hope y'all took y'all notes. Y'all figured out some spots y'all like. Y'all signal something. Today I'm gonna I'll put a play on Twitter. I'm sure all y'all follow my Twitter. If you don't, it's the same as my Twitch Big Dog Banner. I'll drop a community later day for football on the timeline today. But I'm sure y'all who've been around in here all the stream, y'all done picked up on what y'all like already. Probably got it already played. The lines sucks for me that I'm gonna get the worst of them because I'd rather do these sessions with y'all. Make sure we get it out the way. We did the NBA slate for y'all who came in after it's 2.5 hours in. Give me about 30 minutes. That's how long it take for me to like render it and upload it. The full episode of the day show will always every day gonna be on YouTube and I'll post it. So if you're not subscribed to the YouTube, that's the YouTube. Whatever you need to do. If you missed anything, just sub up to the YouTube. When it get posted, of course, you'll get notified. But every day, for the ones who missed it or came in late and you want to go try to find those gems and pieces that we missed early that you may have missed, it'll always be posted. It's not easier. I do it that for a reason. I know. I've been streaming for 5 years, so I'm hip. But you notice there's only 2K on it. No, I do it for a reason on YouTube. So yeah, so it'll be up shortly. Like, thank y'all again. Every day we're gonna keep doing these every morning for whatever the slate is that we got. And again, we're gonna make sure that I hope y'all got y'all pieces. I will be dropping some very soon on the timeline. Let me get situated, figure some stuff out, get my Discord together, and we'll be back. I'll just make sure you tapped into the Twitter. I'm sure most of y'all got my notice turned on, but if you don't, just pay attention. I'll definitely have some that we looked over. I was jotting down stuff I like, but it was so much of a big slate I wanted to get through it though. But yeah, we back at it tomorrow morning with the NBA slate, Monday Night Football, everything like that. I appreciate y'all. I love y'all. It's always love, cuzzos, and we back at this shit tomorrow. It's always love, for sure. We back at it tomorrow, y'all.